Only local, legal, and secure gambling site operated by SIGA. Sign up and choose a welcome bonus up to $250. Conditions apply. Must be 19 plus to play. Use your game sense.
Dan from Croft Electric tells us why it's worth it to have your farm's electrical done right.
You don't go to the cheapest eye doctor. You want to go to one that's going to make sure that the product and whatever you need is done right. So that's what you may have to pay a little extra to get us there, but we'll make sure that whatever your electrical project is, Croft Electric will make sure it's done right.
Croft Electric.
We believe we'd be the right choice for you.
CroftElectric.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Green is the color, football is the game. We're all together, and winning is our aim. So cheer us on through the sun and rain. Saskatchewan Roughriders is our name. Let's show our pride in the green and white. We will fight, green and white. Sing loud and clear till the game is won.
Yeah.
The best is yet.
Started off with a little rider ditty for you out there. It's the Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. Yesterday, holiday Monday, our friends at Kellen Solar still giving you some love if you need anything solar, whether the livestock, the farm, the yard. It's Kellen Solar. Today is Sask Lotteries. Maz is going to be with me in a bit. We're here for the next 3 hours. We will go through the Rider Bombers Labor Day Classic. And didn't it kind of live up to the billing? Classic. It was good. Hey, overreact as much as you want. You're welcome to. Prairie Land Rentals text line if you want to call at times. 936-6262. Curtis is standing by. He's the producer. He's riding shotgun today. Also toll free 1-866-767-0620. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owners, whatever you need renting, and then they sell Husqvarna goods as well. Glen Suitor is going to join us to start the show today. Glen's on an airplane right away, so he's going to do his hit early. And then we were going to hear in the coaches show from Phillip Daniel of our Saskatchewan Roughriders, see what he has to say about the game. I thought that defensive line, let's be honest, Daniels knows they're balling, as they say. And then Arash, Madani in hour 3, whole lot more, and there's some audio from the weekend as well. We'll get to probably a neighbor update from Maz as well. Let's bring Maz in. He is here. If we could, Pumpjack trivia. We got to mention, Pumpjack trivia today's for $150, Maz. $150. And you have the question. You're kind of basing it off last week's show, which I like that you do that. So that's coming up at around 4:30 if you want to win $150 to Pumpjacks. If there was an overreaction odds table that we could go off today, what are most people going to be texting in about the win in the Labor Day Classic?
I saw some chatter online, which I think is crazy. I'm happy the Riders won. Couple of things stand out. I think that Coach Mace, did he coach
Mike O'Shea?
At times, yes. He made some smart decisions where Winnipeg didn't, which isn't sort of their MO. We'll dive into that later. Field goal kicker missed an extra point. Cause for concern. Luckily, it didn't come down to that. But I think a lot of people online, they're happy that we won, but champagne problems are back again. People really wanted the Riders to beat the Bombers, like 15, 20, 25 points. And it's like, hold on. Although the Bomber record isn't great, they can hang with the Riders. That's not happening. It wasn't going to be 52-6. And I'm like, that thinking will probably get us nowhere, that we are that much further ahead than the competition.
I was in that camp. I'll admit it. I thought when I got 4.5, when I got my spread at 4.5, I was already shopping. I had that money labeled. I had a few things in my cart. No, 4 points, 4.5, because it came down from 6.5, and I'm like 4.5. Let's go. Nah, jeez, I was wrong. Also, I thought I took Tommy Neal for an anytime touchdown. And so when he scores, I'm like, no, it was Joe Robustelli that I hit at about 5:30 in the morning when I was doing things. And I took Zach, had him on the show, former guest. I had him for under 300 yards throwing. So I lost that as well. To your point, full disclosure, Winnipeg people that message in, you're going to want to hear this. All you 204s, they're better than I thought.
They are.
Yeah,
they're not the same team, but they're not the Ottawa Red Blacks all of a sudden. They're still a good team. Zach Claros is still a good quarterback. Dalton Schoen. Hopefully he got hurt at the end of the game. Hopefully that's not long term. Probably I was going into the game, I'm like, the weakness of the Bombers is their secondary. Injuries and youth. And on Saturday, it was their offensive line that let them down because the Rider D-line, Malik Carney, dude, how are you wearing a balaclava when it's 30 degrees on Labor Day? You were wrecking all of Manitoba, but I'm like, when they show him on the bench, I'm like, dude, how are you not dying wearing a balaclava?
I don't get that. That's a real good question for our beat reporters and our interns. I don't get why football players wear that. When you see it in the NFL, you see it in college. I don't know if you're allowed to do it in college. See it in NFL as well. I'm like, let's get into that in a bit because I think all facial masks we got to think about banning those. Isn't COVID done? Like I see the people wearing them, and it's like, why are they covering their face? We also have winning to do today. Don't be Rams. We got to talk about that. Can West football. I know Suits. He's coming up in a bit. He loves university sports in Canada and wild games. That Rams game, talking to Perry Nias, sales guy here, former legend on CKRM. We've never seen that happen before, where a team's down 9 with 6 seconds left and they tie it up. That's weird. And then we've got winning for the Rams coming up. If you want to go to the game, the home opener against Alberta this weekend, pick the score. We'll do that. The trivia. Full jam show. Quick break. When we come back, Glen Suitor is going to be with us. If you got any questions for Glen, 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries, the Sportscage on Tuesday, streaming at sportscage.com.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Duncan, Tegan Whitkos at 11. The pregame show's at 1. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 2. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Salford Equipment, Western Ag Professional Agronomy, and the Saskatchewan NDP Caucus. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
Call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever tried convincing a 1,000-pound animal to walk half a mile for a drink? Yeah, good luck with that. Cows aren't moving, and frankly, they don't care about your schedule. So instead of turning your pasture into a full-blown cattle negotiation summit, install a Keln solar livestock watering system. You can drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows chill. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
It's the perfect place to hold your event. It's the perfect place whether it's for a trade show, fundraiser, dance recital, company team building event, or off-site business meeting. It's the perfect place for your wedding with exceptional catering services, venues perfect for a group of any size, and plenty of on-site parking. The perfect place for your event is the Connexus Arts Center. Get all the details about hosting your next event at the Connexus Arts Center at connexusartscenter.ca. See you at the center.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sportscage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Glen's joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Like I said, he's traveling today. He's a traveling man. Suits, my first question, I got to say, when AJ Ouellette was held to 9 yards in that Calgary game, I would have loved to hit the action on that. But if you would have told me that Brady Oliveira would have under 25 yards in the Labor Day Classic, I wouldn't have taken that bet. I would have thought that was crazy talk. But let's start there with how the Riders were able to, I guess, stop the run, and then maybe Winnipeg abandons it a bit.
Well, that's probably due to reputation. You know, sometimes when your D-line and front seven is playing as well as the Riders have been over the entire season, really, you come in thinking, well, everyone's talking about Brady Oliveira. They're really good against the run. We'll just start going play action, and why beat your head against a brick wall? And you can almost talk yourself out of, as a coach, I think, what you do well. You can talk yourself out of it. You can say, well, we got to change what we do because of how good they are at stopping it. And, I think that's where you get in trouble. I think you do what is your strength until the other team shuts it down somehow. And then you have to evolve from there. But, yeah, I think it's a combination of both. One is, between the Saskatchewan defense and the Calgary Stampeder defense, well, you're 1 and 1A, and it depends on what province you're in when you're talking about who's the best there. I think if defenses win championships, as they say, then we're looking at a collision course to see whose defense is the best in a playoff game in the West Division between those two teams.
Maz, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I guess it depends on where your transfer payments are coming from, Saskatchewan or Alberta. But I knew you were going there.
Hey, Suits, one thing I found uncharacteristic on Saturday, and to me that was almost an early TSN turning point, was final minute, first half, Bombers driving. It's 2nd and 1, and instead of bringing in Chris Strevler and getting that first down, moving the chains, and keeping the drive alive, they opt to throw or try and throw on 2nd down, and Zach Collaros gets sacked, hence moves them back 4 or 5 yards, and they miss the field goal. To me, that was very un-Mike O'Shea-like, because people were talking about the Coach Mace out-coached O'Shea, and I'm like, well, there were instances there where O'Shea didn't help himself. What did you think of that play when it happened?
Yeah, it's again one of those ones where you think that sort of that mystique, or as we've been saying it for the last couple of weeks, the cloak of invincibility that the Bombers have had for these last 5 years is slowly disappeared and is really not there right now. That doesn't mean they're still not a good team. I heard you guys off the top, and I couldn't agree more, that they are still a very talented, good team with a veteran Hall of Fame quarterback and an excellent run game, and guys that can blow things up on defense like Willie Jefferson. So they are still a contender. There's no question. But that mystique is gone, and their formula is now sort of with everyone else. It's not the Bomber formula used to be strong running game, finish games in the fourth quarter with a strong running game, and be real physical on the offensive and defensive lines. Win the turnover battle, which they have been struggling with all year. In fact, they went into the Labor Day game, I think, 8th in the league at a -8, and turnovers hurt them again, especially in the final play of the game. So you're looking at already two things that they used to be part of their formula, and their automatic is no longer there. And, again, I don't know if it was reputation or the talk of the town or what influenced their decisions in some of the play calling, and to not get Brady Oliveira involved earlier than they did and more often than they did. That's just not the way the Bombers have won in the past. But I think they're with the rest of the team now. They're with the rest of the league. They got to, figure out new ways.
Where I was sitting and I was around people, and they were kind of thinking the same as me. Especially early, I'm like, wow, we gotta try and push this downfield a bit. And I get that the Bombers are playing a defense which doesn't lend to that. And I almost felt suits that the Bombers are going at it defensively against the Riders. Like, okay, we're gonna try and shut down AJ as much as we can, and then we're gonna play right into what Trevor Harris's strength is. Just let him dink and dunk and see how patient he can be. Like, they didn't really give us a chance to go deep, and Harris didn't take much on the deep ball.
Yeah, that's what's great about and one of the superpowers of Trevor Harris. I mean, he can throw it deep, and for many of the games that we've seen, those explosives have been there. And and not to mention, when you look ahead, the receiving core that he might have in 2 weeks is going to be pretty impressive. But for this game, you're right. Trevor can be patient. If you're wanting to make him patient and throw it into the flats and get 5 on first down and then 7 yards on second down and keep moving the chains that way, then he is more than happy to do that. Whatever it takes and whatever the evolution of a game might look like, he's going to be there to do it. That doesn't mean he'll be mistake-free. That doesn't mean he won't get sacked and things like that. It just means that he's on top of that angle of it, the cerebral part of it. And he was, again, I think the Bombers probably had to change their defensive strategy a little bit. I didn't talk in depth with Coach O'Shea about this, but they probably had to. They've had some injuries in the back end in their secondary. Vavel has gone now from a special teams guy to starting on D at the corner and still playing special teams. That is very taxing for a DB. So, I'm sure they were sort of straying a little bit from their normal defensive game plan because of those injuries. But again, there's no excuse. Every team's had different injuries in different positions, and you have to overcome those.
Suits, on the show last week, you brought up a couple of great points to do with Brett Lothar, the kicking, the making some, the missing some, how that can lead to confidence with teammates. But then the bigger point in that conversation is you had said, when it starts affecting the play call from the head coach of how you're attacking the game. Now, for a lot of us, before the punt, which turned out to be, we're like, that could have been field goal territory to seal the game, to salt things away. So they don't even get a chance to come back. They're all as that. Lothar misses an extra point early. When that happens, is it here we go again? Luckily, it didn't come down to that, but there it is. It's still an issue. It didn't bite us in the you-know-where, but it reared its ugly head again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been there for a while, and it hasn't been an issue because they've won despite of it. We all know the story. We've talked about it at length, but that's my point. I think as we discussed last week, when you're starting to play call and manage a game in Corey Mace's position, that alters it because you don't have confidence in your kicker. I mean, let's be frank. That situation screamed for a field goal attempt of 51 yards. You make it 2 possession, it's game over right there. So that's the conventional wisdom, and the right call is to put your field goal team on the field. I think it would have been about a 51-yarder, and you make it a 2-possession game. Now, 51 is not a gimme, so there is some possibility of a miss there on the field goal, but that's the call. I mean, that is conventional wisdom. That is the call you make. You put your field goal team out. He makes a 51-yarder. It's game over. It's 2 possessions, and there's no chance for a Bomber comeback. They didn't do that, and it just appears to me from the outside looking in that it's because they're just not confident in him to make those. Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, now it becomes the rest of the locker room is also looking and watching this.
Yeah.
And if the rest of the locker room says to themselves, well, okay, if Brett's still kicking when we go to Winnipeg, then that means that I can miss 3 or 4 tackles every game as a DB, or I can drop 2 passes a game as a receiver, and I'll get half a season to work out of my slump. Like, you can't change rules for people. I know Brett's had some, he had his pregnant wife that he was worried about, and I'm so glad that they're have the new child and they're all happy and healthy. And Brett's a fantastic human being, and I don't think you cut Brett. I think you now have to look at maybe the injured list so no one can steal him, and give Campbell Fair an opportunity.
Yeah.
When it changes the game management for your head coach because you're just not confident in him, I think that's probably beyond the point where you should have made a change.
Though, yeah, you kind of answered the next 2 questions I was going to ask. I was going to ask you, what do you think the mood is in the locker room, which you kind of touched on that. And then you mentioned 51 isn't automatic. Unless you're Jose Maltos in Montreal. But I think, again, casual fan here, not to get on a soapbox and be like, hey, I get to talk sports for 3 hours. I know everything about the game, because that's not the case. I think this is the game that they maybe go to Campbell Fair coming up in Winnipeg. Am I crazy?
No, you're not. I would agree. And again, I would go if I was Corey Mays to Brett, and I would say, just keep working at perfecting your game. Just keep working on it, and we may need you again. So we're going to put you on the injury list. You're going to keep getting your paycheck, and keep working on your game. But we're going to try the young kid because, I think you have a responsibility as a head coach at this level. Like this isn't college even, where your kicker's your kicker and you try to work with him to get out of the slump, and you can't make changes. This is pro, and it's a result-oriented business, and Brett knows that. And I'll give you guys a quick story. The closest that I came to this kind of thing was when Don Matthews was our head coach. And I was in the training room after 2 bad games in a row. And I'm sitting there getting ice on my ankle. And Don Matthews walks in, and he says, here's what I can tell you, Glenn. If you have 1 bad game, I wouldn't even come and talk to you about it. It's a one-off. Everybody has one. Don't worry about it. Recover for the next game. That's all I care about. If you have 2 in a row, we're going to talk, and this is becoming habit forming. And if you have 3 in a row, you're not going to be able to have a 4th. And, I think it's a different scenario with Brett in being that sort of abrupt with him. And I don't think coaches even talk to players anymore like that. Although it drove home the point to me in a very open and true way that if I don't have a good game this coming up, I'm not going to be able to go out there and have a 4th attempt. Mm-hmm. So I think we're there now. I like Brett. I've been saying for months now that I think he can work out of this. But if you're making a decision to not kick a field goal and that opportunity to get it a 2-point or a 2-possession game because you don't have confidence in your kicker, it's time to make a change.
Saturday, the rematch. A whole other ball of wax because you've been to both. The intensity just seems to ramp up there. And if they are going to put in Campbell Fair, well, hey kid, Yeah, here's a bit of a situation. Craziest stadium on the road. Your first chance as a Rider. Let's hope it all works out. Glen, when the Riders go to Winnipeg, something happens. The switch flips at times. The Bombers dominate. You know the crowd's going to be nuts. I think as Rider fans, a lot of us don't realize just how intense that stadium is. You're probably our closest connection to that. Saturday's a whole other ball game, isn't it?
It's the hardest 2 points of the regular season for the Riders, and it doesn't matter what the records have been or would be, or if the Riders have had a great record and the Bombers a terrible one. That game in the rematch is the toughest win of the regular season, and it's just an intensity thing, and often it's coming off a win on Labor Day for the Riders. So that is part of the equation here, because you're on such a high. It was such a great intensity, and Labor Day and Sunday, and the stadium was jam-packed, and everyone talked about it all week, and you won the game. So that lingers a little bit, and it's tough to switch it back on to get back to the intensity level you're going to need for the rematch. And I always felt like when I played in it, the Bombers just were more intense in the first quarter of the second game. So it was like we got to catch up to their level of intensity here. And so, I know they'll talk about it. You can't really practice it. You'll just have to see if it happens when they get there. And the Riders have a great defense, so they should be able to hang around. And if you hang around on the road in any game, you've got a chance to win in the end. So I'm not saying the Bombers should walk over in this game, but this is the toughest 2 points of the regular season. And I'll give you a quick stat that is sort of, it goes through the whole season, but Nick Dembski, who Zach Collaros calls their best player, he says that Dembski is their MVP on offense, and he's the best player on their football team. And I asked him, I said, that's really high praise. I mean, you're going overboard here, aren't you? And he goes, no, Nick Dembski is our best football player. And Nick Dembski at home averages about 90 yards a game at home. On the road, it's 43 or something like that. Like, they just love playing in front of the sellout crowd at home. And, when their best players are elevating their game like that at home, you've seen Zach Collaros' record at home. I mean, we're talking about a team that is tough to beat, even though they're not the same Bombers as the last 5 years. That's going to be the toughest 2 points of the regular season for the Riders.
Can I ask you, I call it the Tyler Lockett play. And I think it's brilliant. And the Seattle Seahawks, love him or hate him, they were really good at it. Russell Wilson, he would just toss the ball up to Tyler Lockett when there was probably not a lot of chance that they were going to get the first down on third and whatever, Canadian game, second and whatever. And you just hope you draw the PI call. I totally think this is such a veteran move by Dembski. The ref bought it. Yeah, Ford's maybe in the wrong there a bit. I think this is 70% of this play call is to do exactly that, Glenn.
Well, that's the veteran in Nick Dembski. I actually said it while we were calling the game in the booth that, I wasn't trying to suggest that Dembski drew the penalty and should have got what's the call in hockey when you pretend to fall over?
Diving, unsportsmanlike conduct. Yeah.
An unsportsmanlike diving. I wasn't suggesting that, but it was really subtle. It was the veteran move by Dembski. He's doing a deep post. He doesn't think he can reach the ball. He slows down as Jackson Ford is trying to close and running full speed at him, and Jackson doesn't make that same reaction. He doesn't notice it in time, and he runs right over him. It was pass interference, so they had to call it, but it was drawn by Nick Dembski because he's a veteran. He knew he couldn't reach it, and he just geared it down enough so that whomever was the DB was going to run over him. It's like when Tom Cruise said, just throw on the brakes and that jet will fly right by. And then now you're behind him and in a chance to knock him down. But, you're totally right. And how about one other call? We got to get to this. And again, it was a call made because probably partly of the lack of confidence in Lawther, but the quick kick by Trevor Harris, he executed that to perfection. But a lot could have gone wrong there. I'm telling you, a lot. Like people might say, well, it was a 51-yarder, so that's not a gimme. So I like the Trevor Harris play because of the way it worked out, and that's exactly what you want to happen. And but you're asking your quarterback to drop kick it almost and do it with that same distance that he would be in shotgun. So a D lineman could have penetrated, a blitzing linebacker could have hit him right in the chest as he was trying to kick it. That ball could have flopped around. He could have missed it.
It could have been a disaster.
You only practiced that. Yes, that could have been an absolute disaster. And probably cost them the game. And to go to that play ahead of Lawther, and I don't mean to bring that up again, but I was so impressed by this 39-year-old quarterback. Is he 39 now? 39-year-old quarterback drop kicking it to the goal line on a key moment in the game to give the team a chance to win. I was like, oh, my God.
You know who used to do that? You know who used to do that, Glenn? Again, NFL, Belichick and Brady. But you know when they used to punt it? They used to punt it on third down. I think Brady's got 2 punts in his career. One definitely is on third down. They knew they weren't going to make it, and they just surprised him with a punt. I loved the play. Yeah, a lot could go wrong there, but a lot could go wrong with anything when you break down football. I was like, ballsy. That is definitely something they don't practice in open practices, though, eh, Glenn?
No, they don't. And they don't call it, and partly because they weren't confident that a 51-yarder was going to go through the upright. So they decided, we put our punt return team on. They've got a good punt returner. We put our punt return team on. They get a big return. That's a concern. If he kicks it out of bounds or shanks, a lot can go wrong, but that's a play that Trevor did that he probably practiced 3 times all year in a closed practice with nobody watching. He probably tried that 3 or 4 times. That's it. That could have gone really bad really quickly.
Hey, Suits, because the rest of the weekend was crazy. Is there a better, more dangerous 4-win football team, they're 4-8, than the Toronto Argonauts? Because Nick Arbuckle's leading the league in passing with 3,800 yards. If their defense does get a stop, they're the team I don't want to play. If the Grey Cup was tomorrow, I'm sorry, I'll pass on the Argonauts. I'll take Montreal and Hamilton all day long. If I'm a Rider fan and had to play somebody from the East, Toronto, stay away.
Yeah, it's, well, first of all, are we okay now to put Arbuckle in the conversation for MOP? I mean, he's leading all quarterbacks passing the football. He gets Mackay Pope back in the receiving corps. When he put 52 on the BC Lions, now I would suggest that they have the worst defense in the league right now, the Lions. But when Toronto, and I know I'll get a call from my former colleague on that, but when Toronto put 52 on them and looked like they were scoring touchdowns on every drive, he didn't have DeMonte Coxey in the lineup at that time. So Arbuckle was doing that with a backup receiver, with their number one guy out of the lineup. So, I think we now are looking at just respectfully putting Arbuckle in that conversation as one of the top guys in the league, the MVP candidate. The record is what would tarnish that. But you're right, Maz, they're not going away. I mean, the defending champs are figuring it out, and I think probably because they now know that maybe Chad Kelly's not going to return this year. That's the rumors I heard a couple of weeks ago, that there's a question mark as to whether or not he will be able to get back this year. So, maybe that's where the team went, well, this is our guy. We might as well go and get it together. And they get poked back, and that's big. And that's what I meant about the Riders in the next 2 weeks. Schaefer Baker, a Joe with more playing time, and Emelis all returning to the lineup. It's a good problem for Corey Mace.
Hey, Glenn, we got a couple of questions here on the text line for you. I'll go to this one first. Bob in Regina. Campbell's pick 2 was a first in Rider history. Is that a first in CFL history? Do you know that? I can't see it being the first one.
A pick 6 for a 2-point convert.
Yeah, pick 2.
A pick 2, yeah. Well, right, yeah. Pick 2 for a 2-point convert. I'll check on that. I'll get back to him on that. I don't remember one I don't remember one that I was covering or anything like that. I'm trying to think of. I think that there's been interceptions on attempts to win on a 2-point convert. I just don't think they've gone the other way and given, the team with the interception the 2 points. And then also, by the way, make that a 4-point lead, which means there was no chance, basically. Because all you have to do is get an onside kick with a few seconds left and kick a field goal if they didn't score on that.
Yeah.
And what a play by Campbell.
No doubt. Look
his
at these.
His closing speed is off the charts great. I mean, when he has 4 yards to make up on a receiver, he does that as fast as I've ever seen anyone in the league do it.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Definitely game planning away from him. Okay, one more quick one here. Where do we go? Brett wants to know how they missed the face mask on AJ.
Yeah, I agree, Brett. You're right. Although I will say this, and not on that play because that's also a player safety issue, and because a face mask is a player safety issue, and there's two things there. One is they missed it on the field, which is hard to understand why, but okay, let's say they were all blocked. Their vision was blocked by other players. But the replay center in a game earlier this year called a penalty on a horse collar tackle in Saskatchewan. I don't even remember the opponent right now, but it was a horse collar tackle, wasn't called on the field, and the replay center called it from Toronto. And I thought if there's ever an example that should happen, it should be on that face mask because it's a player safety issue. It's a roughing penalty that I think they can call in real time from the command center. So, I was shocked by that one, but I will say this about penalties. I really hate to argue about the flags that they didn't throw because I'd much rather just have them throw less flags in general.
And this, yeah, exactly. And this is Corey and Weyburn trumps in here. He says 97 playoffs, Calgary returned a 2-point convert on the Riders. There we go.
Yeah,
Corey from Weyburn.
I love our listeners in Saskatchewan because all we have to do is post the question and they'll have the answer before I can even think of it.
All right. I know you got to get on an airplane. Thanks for doing this a little earlier today, Glenn. We'll talk to you again on Thursday. Hey, when we talk on Thursday, let's talk Ken West College University football. Man, there's some great finishes and great games this week. So let's talk about that on Thursday.
Sounds good. Players are coming through at that level too. Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. See you, Glenn. Travel safe.
Thanks.
Glen Suitor and press coverage for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional services guaranteed. They're going to treat you right. It's about time. It's going down to about 2 degrees tonight, maybe in the area. Better make sure that furnace is ready to go. I just said you got to make sure your air conditioner is ready. Now you got to make sure your furnace is ready, Sasky.
Oh, you'll find out quick if the furnace isn't working properly.
Yeah.
when you turn that baby on to be like, oh no.
I remember.
Oh, no.
I remember as a kid.
Going back to school was expensive enough, and then you got furnace problems. Oh, jeez.
Hey, yeah, that's why you go with Bronco Plumbing and Heating. 781-2090. They'll treat you right. Tell them you heard it on the Sports Cage. My furnace. I remember going down as a kid in the homestead, and it's like, Kate, turn the oven on. Okay. Let's warm up the house somehow. Yeah, it's getting chilly. Okay, we got text messages coming in. A whole lot more to get to. It's a Sports Cage. Maz is with me. Curtis is with me. It's 4 Sask lotteries. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Hi, this is Perry from Nikki's Cafe and Catering. We love to support our local Saskatchewan farmers, and what goes around comes around. At Nikki's Cafe, we have over 15 individually packaged frozen meals at farm-friendly prices for just $10.50 each. You can even call and create a custom meal depending on your dietary restrictions. It's our traditional homemade comfort food on the go. Nikki's Cafe would be honored to help feed you and your crew during the busy seeding and harvest seasons. Find us at 1005 8th Avenue or online at nickis.ca.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at worksafesask.ca.
Auction Link is having their big unreserved September auction sale September 6th to 10th, just in time for harvest. This sale has items you won't want to miss, including a 2011 Kenworth T680, a 2011 MacDon Draper header, a Brad 1095A grain belt conveyor, and much more. If you break down and can't wait for the auction, head over to Asset Link where there's equipment inventory available every day. Asset Link with yards in Saskatoon, Lloydminster, and Lacombe. You can buy right now on assetlink.ca.
Regina, get ready for some thunder. The Regina Thunder are charging into an electrifying 2025 season, and you can be on the roster, the fan roster. Come support our hometown heroes as they deliver bone-rattling hits, jaw-dropping plays, and the best local talent on the field. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be part of the winning tradition. Feel the energy and live the excitement. Season tickets are on sale now at reginathunder.ca. Bring the Thunder.
The care your family receives in hospitals, schools, and community programs comes from SEIU West members who live in your community. We're united around something simple. When working people have what they need to do their jobs well, everyone benefits. Our conditions of work are your conditions of care. For more information, visit seiuwest.ca.
Elevate your baling experience with the Heston by Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler. With a dependable, long-lasting design for challenging conditions and high-speed baling, this machine features swing-away net loading and an optional hydraulic drop floor for easy obstruction clearing. Quality hay production starts today with Heston by Massey Ferguson. See the Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. For more information, visit nickservice.com.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Good chat with Suits. Might rerun that in the back half of the game. Maz, we got a couple of text messages here to get to in the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Leonard, I think he's in Regina. He says all that drama at the end of the game could have been avoided if Mario Alford would have prioritized ball security and trying to break one to score a touchdown. Our football IQ needs to improve.
As soon as he cut to the middle, I was like, oh no, because you don't have the sideline as your friend anymore, and anybody can come from anywhere to knock the ball out, from behind, from the side, from the front, and I'm like, ugh. Tell me that doesn't sober you up. I don't know how much you drank at the game on Saturday, Barney, or Sunday, Barney, how many drinks you had, but tell me you didn't sober up. Boy, hey, not like I'm running a breathalyzer in the booth or anything, but tell me that didn't sober you up a couple mLs. All of a sudden to be like, we had this in the bag. Uh-oh. And then, because to me, the onside kick, that could have gone either way, because if they would have said it was Winnipeg's ball, it would have been like too close to call, be like too close for comfort. Holy smokes. A little too much excitement.
There have been so many exciting finishes to the CFL this year. Riders have been in a couple for sure. Mm-hmm. Then that Hamilton-Toronto game, I'm like, there is nothing wrong entertainment value-wise than watching this. If you like to sprinkle, that's your own thing. If that, you know what, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, this onside kick here, if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com, rolling. You gotta have it. You might not be on the hands team next week.
Okay.
But hey,
because what happened yesterday Rider fans, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, we won. It was great. You wanted to win by more. Look what happened yesterday to Hamilton. They score a go-ahead touchdown with 16 seconds left. Game is in the bag. What could possibly happen? There's no way we're going to lose. Bo Levi's winning streak on Labor Day is going to stay intact. He's going to be 8-0. Next thing you know, Toronto throws up a prayer. It's caught. Run.
Yeah.
Argos win. Game over. And the Hamilton sideline, they're in shock. Like, what just happened? That could have been us on Saturday.
If you didn't watch that game, you didn't watch the highlights and all that, I recommend it. I recommend, entertainment-wise, watching the last 5 minutes of that football game was unreal. Yes. Eli says, why didn't the command center step in on the Ouellette helmet play? He spells Ouellette like me. We got something in common, Eli. The command center sticks their nose in other plays, whichever they feel like. I would really like to know. Maybe that's a question we can ask Glen on Thursday. Remind me, Eli. I don't know why they wouldn't have jumped in there, player safety and all that. But you know what? I feel, though, this year, we haven't been talking about the command center, talking about the reffing near as much as last year.
No, after last year's Ottawa debacle, which was so bad, it was so bad. And to me, that cost the Riders a chance at the Grey Cup because we would have had home field advantage if we would have won that game. Like, it was so bad just to be like, guys. Barney, and I like the fact, let the refs on the field call it, because we've all played sports. We all watch sports. Sometimes if they miss it, you got to live with it. Because then you could call holding on every play. There is a good, okay, so if you're asking me, who scored, what was the Riders' first touchdown? The long one.
Tommy Neal?
No.
AJ Ouellette.
Was it Tommy Neal? No, it was Tommy Neal. To me, watching the replay, Tommy Neal looks offside. He looks like he got a Nick Dembski going there, and he looks super offside. And I was like, are they going to call his command center? Going to call that?
That is funny because, I don't know if a lot of people are like this too, especially if you played or coached ball or whatever. Like, sometimes you try and focus in on one receiver or a couple of defensive backs. Okay, how are they going to play this? Are they going to go like a high-low? Are they going to play man there? What are they going to do? On that play, I just happened to be watching Tommy because, remember, I thought I bet on him for an anytime touchdown at 5:30 in the morning, but it was Robustelli. He ran, and if you're out there and you saw this too, he ran the corner post to perfection and then where Harris put it. And after that play, I was like, all right, here we go. Here it's roll time. We are going to roll. Great play and all that. But Winnipeg just didn't go away. And again, first test of the eyeballs live to watch Winnipeg, I was like, they're not like you said, they're not Ottawa. They're still in the mixer.
No. I knew that they corrected the mistakes against Calgary because AJ was able to run from the start. The Bombers weren't. So something got tightened up there on both sides. I'm like, all right, this is good. This is a good thing. Just don't let Oliveira break off like a 17-yarder. But here's my thought. Come Saturday, probably there's going to be a heavy dose of Oliveira, and if they can't get the run going again, it's going to be in those screen passes for yards, and they're going to run, and then the Dembski show. Here's the question, off topic. What did the 50-50 end up getting to? Because it was ridiculous. It was like $1 million something. And I'm like, what did it finish out at?
1.4 and change was the last I saw. But like I said, I did take an Uber to an establishment with Mrs. S after. We were in one. But it was 1.4 that Roscoe said, I hope the winner of the 50-50 was Sasky. I don't know. I didn't win it anyway. Okay, we got to go to break here. We got to have a minute left. Curtis is on the ball, too, with the video on the stream today. He's got Toronto Hamilton video if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com. That's the where to go. I can't wait to get into the Rams Dinos finish. Never heard anything like that in my football watching, playing, coaching life. It's unreal. It's a Sports Cage. Thanks to everyone who's participating on the text line, Prairieland Rental style, 936-6262. We are streaming. You're watching the video at sportscage.com.
The original 620 CKRM Country Cookouts are back for the harvest season. As you and the crew take a break from taking crop off the field, we'll fill you up with a delicious meal from Nikki's Cafe and Catering. We'll also bring you prizes and live entertainment. Keep it on CKRM for the dinner bell cue to call, and you could be one of our lucky 8 Fall Country Cookout winners. 620 CKRM's Country Cookouts for Young's Equipment, Prairie 6-inch Eavestrough, Zipperlock Building Company and Powerlift Doors, and Nikki's Cafe and Catering.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Looking for a way to relax after a long day?
Come on.
Tired of being notified by life's bells and whistles?
Yeah, I'm gonna need that draft tomorrow.
When you're ready to stop working so hard, you know it's time to play. Yes. It's easy to find your next favorite game at Bodog.net. Play free casino games, check out our beginner's guides, and get poker tips. Visit Bodog.net today. #Make a play.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
Hey, let's hit up Pumpjacks Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pumpjacks Cathedral.
Who?
Pumpjacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pumpjacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Not much to report from Rider Camp today as the fellas had the day off. The one thing I did notice, the Riders are now third best odds to win the Grey Cup. They're trailing Calgary and Hamilton, where I was looking at that's weird. Blue Jays, Game 2 versus the Reds after a loss yesterday. They're only 2.5 up on the Red Sox and Yankees in the AL East. We did have some preseason WHL hockey today. The Blades 3-1 over the Raiders. Also tonight, Humboldt and Kindersley, a little friendly in the SJHL. High school football starting this week around the province. We want to hear from your team, your community. Let us know if there's anything we didn't know about. 6-a-side, 9-a-side, 12-a-side, doesn't matter. Email us at hi@sportscage.com. That's hi@sportscage.com. Hour 1 sports tickers for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. That's it for Hour 1. Hour 2, Coach's Show with Phillip Daniels. We'll talk about the Riders and a whole lot more. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Tanner Wallace-Scribner from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Saskatchewan once ranked first in Canada for per-student education funding, but a new Fraser Institute report says the province has now fallen to 7th. The study shows that per-student funding dropped by almost 15% between 2013 and 2023 when adjusted for inflation and enrollment growth. While overall spending went up about $400 million, Saskatchewan's classrooms saw fewer real resources to work with. Teacher salaries, pensions, and benefits continue to make up the bulk of costs, but capital spending on new schools and renovations dropped nearly 40% over the decade. The report says Saskatchewan's education system is under pressure as enrollments continue to rise. With students back in classrooms and school zones once again busy, drivers across Saskatchewan are being reminded to slow down. Michaela Solomon with SGI says today serves as a reminder for both kids and adults about safety.
We just want to make sure people know what the rules are. Remember what the posted speed limit is in your community so that you can keep kids in your community safe. Kids are some of the most vulnerable people that we share our community with, and it's just all of our responsibility as the adults in the community to do what we can to keep them safe.
Police warn that speeding in school zones comes with stiff penalties. Tickets start at $170, with fines increasing $4 for every kilometer per hour over the limit. Saskatchewan drivers are seeing another slight increase at the pumps this week. According to Gas Buddy's daily survey of 82 stations in Regina, the provincial average price for regular gasoline now sits at just over 141 cents per liter. That's up 1.1 cents from last week's average of 140.2 cents. 2 weeks ago, prices had spiked by 6 cents after a refinery outage in the United States. Nationally, the average price fell slightly to 138.2 cents per liter, with several eastern provinces seeing the sharpest increases. Gas Buddy says refinery issues and the weaker Canadian dollar continue to affect the market. Environment Canada says air quality warnings are in effect for much of Alberta and western Saskatchewan. Christy Klemenhaga with Environment Canada says the smelly haze is expected to last into later this week.
We are starting to see things improving a little bit in Saskatchewan, but Alberta's still seeing quite a bit of smoke, poor air quality, and that looks to last through much of the day. We're expecting a shift back to southerly winds coming in from the south, which should help things a little bit by tomorrow, but, at least in southern Alberta, but expecting it to be a relatively smoky week for much of the western prairies.
She says those most at risk, including adults aged 65 and up, babies, and people with pre-existing health conditions, should all avoid strenuous activities. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
The Price Beat Guarantee is back at Capital GMC in Regina. We will beat any price on any new vehicle from any competitor, or you get $500 cash guaranteed. But just wait, there's more. For a limited time, we're going to give you 20% more than the Black Book trade value for your trade right off the bat. Or you can check out a GM certified pre-owned vehicle. They all come with manufacturer's warranty, roadside assistance, and more. The Price Beat Guarantee at Capital GMC in Regina.
When the rut kicks in, there's no room for second chances. Get locked, get loaded. That's where Cash Tactical comes in. Brands like Browning and Winchester firearms, award-winning Vortex optics, and a full selection of ammunition. Start with gear that's as tough as you are. Cash Tactical, Regina's hunting, fishing, and camping headquarters. 2176 7th Ave in the Warehouse District.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, partly cloudy, cool with local frost, a low down to 2 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a high of 18. Wednesday night, spotty showers in the area, becoming cloudy and a low down to 9. Thursday, we're looking at isolated showers and windy out of the northwest, 20 to 50, gusting higher later in the day and a high of 16. Friday, partly sunny, breezy, and a high of 16. Currently in downtown Regina, overcast skies and 18.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks if you're watching the stream, chiming in, and if not, Prairieland Rentals text line. Always a good way to go about it. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday. Maz is with me. Todd on the YouTube chat said, didn't it hit 1.5 million? The 50-50. I think last I looked it was 1.4, and then I was in a haze.
It's crazy because I know at the Stamps game a couple of weeks ago, they're like, the pub,
$150.
Well, it's funny because the public address announcers to be like, hey, and don't forget to get your 50-50 tickets. The jackpot's at $33,000. And I'm like, it's $33,000 when the gates open 2 hours before the game at a Rider game. So it's mind-boggling, that money. It's like watching the Oiler 50-50 in the playoffs. Oh, and by the way, I had so many thoughts on that McDavid, Reinhart, Crosby presser from last week. It's like, Connor, give your head a shake. Oiler fans, you got problems.
I wouldn't mind actually going to the rematch this weekend in Winnipeg. Not going to. Too many things going on life-wise. But that's going to be an interesting football game. That atmosphere, I've never been to that stadium. There was fisticuffs. I saw some Tillies, eh?
Yeah, there was a ton of Bomber fans at the game, and I give them credit. If I were to ever go to a game opposing, I would never wear a jersey because in today's day and age, it just brings on the crazies and the psychos. Like, you're just putting yourself in harm's way. So to anybody that does or is going, like Greg from the Piffles podcast, they've got a bus going, or a couple of buses, don't they? They've been selling tickets. They're going on a roadie. But Greg, he loves wrestling. So if anything happens, maybe there's a camel clutch involved, a sharpshooter, I don't know, Hurricane Rana off the top rope.
Curtis, I don't know how to answer the one question on the Prairieland Rentals text line. It's more of a technical question. You might have to go on that about the Roughrider roundtable. Eli's agreeing with us that the refs should call the game, except command center will stick their nose. They can't help themselves, so he's going off on that. Yeah, I don't know exactly how that. Oh, Heather's big picture gal. I like it. She sent a picture to the text line.
Okay.
1,489,348. That's solid. Pat on the back, everyone that bought. But now, you can, the riders5050.ca, which I have where's the read sheet here? I have it this week, and you get the early bird, and you just subscribe. You just leave your credit card there. It's like all those Netflix and Hulu and whatever other subscriptions, they just bill you every month, and you're good to go. The early bird prize this week, Mexico. Again.
Ooh, nice.
Bypassing the States hard this year is the Roughrider Foundation. Big Mexico fans. Love it. All-inclusive package for 2, 7 nights at a 5-star resort, flights and transfers included, or $5,400 cash. You got to buy it, though, before Thursday at 5 p.m. like usual. It doesn't say where in Mexico. That's half the fun.
Mexican Russian roulette. Hey, listen, I know we're not doing Clutch Performer yet, but to anybody that feels a little blue today, I'm right there with you, because after the Labor Day Classic and we won, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. Summer's pretty much over. Today it was back to school. And if you're a parent with kids, yes, you're happy that summer vacation's over, but now it's kind of like everything is kind of like back to normal. The fun is done. As a dad now, we've got 3 kids in 3 different schools. It's a lot. There's an adjustment period. My wife is on edge. I made the mistake yesterday of just existing in the kitchen at the wrong time. And so there's a lot. So if you've got the kind of like summer's over, school has started, blues on this back to work Tuesday, right there with you. And how about the lunchroom fees? Could they be, why don't I just give you $10,000 for them to eat lunch at school now?
Do you make lunches, or do they provide lunches at this place that you're talking?
No,
do they still take their own?
You got to make, but you got to pay if you're staying, because the lunch people got to get paid. So
there's a lot of parents out there. What's your favorite back to school parent? It used to be for me was my wife's awesome. She's in education and she just works way too hard. It's crazy, but there's some of the elaborate lunches when the kids were younger, that first week, 2 weeks of school. And then by June, it's like, I don't know, take a pepperoni stick and a piece of cheese, whatever. Get out of my hair. But there are the people that go overboard on the lunches. Now, grade 7, and my daughter's she's like, I'm making my own lunch. And I'm like, thank you.
And luckily, so the 13-year-old and the 10-year-old, they're like, no, we can do it. We can do it ourselves. But today, I find it funny, Barney, there's only a couple of types of parents, and they can all fit into a couple of categories. So you have there's the way too attached parents, which would be me and my wife. You know, you're like, can we, is it safe to go yet? Do we need to watch them walk in the school physically in line with their teacher who had the giant sign with their name, like grade 5 right here? Then there's always the mom. There's one or two of them, and she showed up per normal, like doing a catwalk strut, always dressed inappropriate. She had on a club dress today, like she was going to be in Vegas. Like what's the nightclub at Caesar's Palace? Is it Aria? No, Live.
Aria.
Anyways, like she would have been. Yeah, like she would have been on.
Do
I
look like a club in Vegas? Come on.
I've been with
O'Shea's.
you in Vegas. I've seen.
Give me belly up to the bar at O'Shea's.
So there was the inappropriately dressed mom this morning, which was solid, heels, mini party dress and everything. And that doesn't bother me. What bothers me are the parents that are showing up late. You've had 2 months notice of when school starts. Be there at 8 o'clock. All right. It's 10 after 8 and you're showing up and you're wandering around because the kids and the teachers have gone inside. You missed it. Be on the tarmac by the basketball hoops at 8.
Final attendance was 34,243 because we did have a text that came in here. Trent from Edmonton.
It was a record.
Trent from Edmonton. Yeah, that's good. We got to host. We have to host that West Final. Not to state the obvious, and then that's going to be a time. That's going to be a hot ticket. We got Coach. Hey, we got Coach standing by. Hold that. Let's go, Curtis.
Okay.
It's time for the Sportscage Riders Coaches Show for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation. Get your 50-50 tickets now for all Rider home and away games. Riders5050.ca and Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
There he is, joining us again on the program, the former Georgia Bulldog. Wow, did they mop Marshall? Talk about covering the spread on the weekend. Coach Phillip Daniels is with us. Hey, got the win on Labor Day. Your crew again, that line causing havoc. Now that you've watched some tape, how do you assess things, Coach?
Man, we played well, but of course, you know me, we got a lot to work on. We got a lot to improve on. We can play a lot better. We left some stuff on the field, of course, but anytime you come out with a win, and we just got to learn to finish, we got to finish, and that's for the whole defense. We just got to finish. But overall, I was proud of the guys, how they came out and played. And I think that, like I say, we got a lot of room for improvement.
Can we ask you... Hey, listen, he had a great game, so don't say it. I'm glad you didn't say anything to wreck the juju. Does Malik Carney get extremely hot wearing a winter Saskatchewan balaclava during the middle of summer in Saskatchewan while he's playing a professional football game? Because that looks incredibly uncomfortable when they show him on the sidelines with his helmet off.
I have no idea. I'm gonna have to ask him about that. All I know is he playing good, so that's all that matters
I
with me.
know.
But hopefully he don't change it if it's working. So, but I just think that no, he's one of those guys that come prepared every week. He's a guy that goes out and plays hard. He true leader for the defense, especially our line. You know what I'm saying, keeping guys together. He's improving every game. You know what I'm saying. And this was his game to go out and do some great things. He did it.
What do you know why? Are you involved in it? What's with the sack dance? What does that represent? Where they're like revving the motor, but what's going on there? I don't know.
Each one of my guys got their own unique thing they do, and they do the same thing every time so that all the other guys can join in. Me on the sidelines, I know they're not going to see me, so I don't join in. But at the same time, they come over and I pat them on the helmet and say, good job, you know what I'm saying? But we tell guys to celebrate together, and that's how it is, you know what I'm saying? If one of us get a sack, we all should be out there doing the same thing that he's doing, celebrating together and doing those things. So we definitely, I know all their dances. Sometimes I go in the meeting rooms and I tell them I need a lot of this, I need a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? And and they said, hey, coach, you know all of all this stuff. And if I don't know it, like for Lee, like Ali, I never knew what he was going to do. But he came with the wipe and throw. So it was good, man. It was good. It's good to see them out there celebrating, having fun together, you know what I'm saying? And that we don't have, no hidden insecurities and that everybody's working together for the betterment of the team and the defensive line.
What was yours when you were patrolling?
I just flex, man. I got all these muscles. So I just flex and yelled. That's all I did, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have nothing too special. So
can we rewind back to May and training camp in Saskatoon? When you got this group together, as we're seeing what they're doing now, did you see this in them? And obviously you're going to say there's probably could be more to come, but was it special from like day one of training camp with the athletes that they've given you to work with?
Yes, the D-line coach that. Of course, they were special. But I saw it in them. I saw every guy. We had Mike Rose join us, and we had Shane join us, and I saw some special things in all of them. Even some of the young guys that was coming up. Some guys yet to get on the field. But I feel like the group was a group that they care about each other. They love each other. They hang out together. They talk. No, we didn't have that in the past. It's all about gelling your chemistry. You know what I'm saying? You only build that by guys who like each other, like playing with each other. And I saw that in training camp. I saw the guys come together, eating together, talking, and I just listen to the conversation sometimes. It tells me a lot. But it takes that to have a good D-line. You got to have guys out there that you can trust, and they got your best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go out and do this thing. You listen to me, I listen to you, and let's go get it done. And that's what my group is doing right now.
Was that something like, Coach Mace had a relationship with a few of them, or a guy like Rose comes in? Was that something that you guys knew? Like, okay, he's going to slot in well. He's going to be one of the guys, going to fit in seamlessly. Did you know that kind of maybe beforehand with some of them?
I did. I met Shane when I was in Toronto.
Okay.
I was a motivational speaker for them during the Grey Cup about 3 years ago. And I met him, and we talked a lot on the sideline. He was hurt at the time. But I knew he knew the system. I knew he had been in the system. And all these guys, Rose, Micah, all these guys had been in the system before. So I knew that they would gel pretty well. You know what I'm saying? All they had to do is just refresh their mind on the playbook and the terminology and stuff. It changes as you go from team to team. But overall, I knew that by playing in the system before, they would come together faster, and that's exactly what they did.
We had Glen Suitor on in the first hour of the show, and he said on Saturday, the hardest 2 points of the season to get for the Riders is when they go to Winnipeg. You guys were able to hold Brady Oliveira to under 30 yards, which is incredible. But he can break it big. So anything, not that you're going to tell us anything changing, like what do you do to get that repeat performance? Because you guys did you were able to shut down like the key weapons of the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense, that running game.
Well, we know how good of a back he is. He killed us in the final, and you got to be prepared for him. But he only ran like 5 times, and I think early in that game we kind of shut down the run and caused them to go to the pass. But nothing's changing for us. We just got to get better on the stuff that we we messed up on. You know what I'm saying? The things that we didn't do well. We got to improve going into this game. Of course, I expect them to come with a different wrinkle and give them the ball more probably, and the run game get going a little bit more. I expect that. You know what I'm saying? I always expect that as a D-line coach. I expect them to run the ball, and my job is to, for my guy to help my guys stop that run as best as we can. You know what I'm saying? So I feel confident about our chances of going in there, but of course they're a good team, and I know that that's a tough place to play. The crowd is going to be loud. It's going to be tough for our offense, so we got to carry the offense for a while probably. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be difficult for them. We got to go in there with that attitude or mentality of saying that our offense is going to go through a lot with all this crowd noise, so we on defense, we got to play better than their defense, and we just got to go out and do our thing and try to win this game. And if the offense can handle that and do well, that's good. That's a bonus. You know what I'm saying? So, I expect us to go in there and play well. I don't expect it to be anything different than what we're going to do, but do things better on the things that we didn't do in this last game.
That atmosphere, and I know it's like, it's one of the greatest things, but any stories that you can tell us for the guys that maybe haven't been through it, because that place was rocking. And do you get goosebumps when you're getting ready to go on the field? Does it remind you of your time, going out with Washington or something and back in the day?
Well, I played in the SEC where crowds were like this all the time. So it don't bother. I'm used to it. I'm kind of used to it. But, it is an atmosphere that you go get in there and the rivalry and stuff. It's just like when I played with Washington with the Cowboys. It's a rivalry. It's a rivalry. It means a lot to the fans. And when we go in there, they're going to have a whole lot of fans up in those stands. And it means a lot to them. So we know they're going to give us our best. Their best shot, and we just got to go in there and be well prepared to handle anything, any controversy, anything that comes our way. We got to be able to get through it and move on to the next play. And that's the thing. Hey, the play that's in front of you is the most important play, and then we'll move on to the next play. But right now, I think going in there, we know it's going to be, we got to win at home. We know that they want to try to beat us there and, try to split this thing, get this thing to even. But we got to go in there prepared. Like I said, this week going to be important to get that done.
Phil Daniels is with us from the Saskatchewan Roughriders D-line coach. So when you take off your coach's hat and you put on your dad hat and you talk to your son DeVaris from the Toronto Argonauts, I had said, that's the best 4-8 football team I think I've ever seen, and I don't want to play them because they are scary. What are your conversations like? Because that team, holy smokes, up, down, they can't not score 50 points. It's got to make for some fun combos with dad.
See, I'm gonna do what he never does. He never correct people on saying his name correctly. You know what I'm saying? So his name is DeVaris. It's DeVaris. Yeah. So I want to make sure everybody know that out there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that team they won the Grey Cup last year. We know they had some injuries early on, and they was just plugging people in and trying to. It hurts the special teams a lot when you got guys coming off the street trying to plug them in because they only have a week to prepare and have to go play. The defense has been up and down a little bit there, but they put up a whole lot of points. And when you can put up a whole lot of points like that, you should win games. But if the defense can just, control the other team from getting too many yards rushing and control it a little bit, then I think they got a good chance of getting back in the hunt here. Of course, I always tell them, when if you throw the ball to my son a little bit more, you win. But of course, that ain't happening this year, and he ain't getting the ball as much as he usually get it. But at the same time, he's a leader. He's going to stay with that team and do whatever he can to help them. I just feel like, I wish he was with me. I wish he was on our team, but at the same time, I understand the sport, man, and he's gonna do everything he can to help them get to where they got to go. And you got to realize they did win the Grey Cup with the quarterback that they got now, Arbuckle. So I think at any time that defense can get the click in and stop some people, and they get going and they get into the hunt and maybe get in there, sneak in there.
Watch, there's a bunch of dads listening right now, and Regina Minor football dads are like, "See, I'm going to go tell the coach they need to throw to my kid more if they want to win." Okay, I want to ask you this as like a football guy because you go through your resume, right, as a coach and as a player, the NFL and all that. I brought it up at the beginning of the show. Being a Patriots fan, I saw Tom Brady punt it twice on third down, not even fourth, as an element of surprise. Trevor Harris lays down a nice one on Sunday. I don't know if that's his first career punt. Is that something you've seen a lot, Coach, in your days?
I have. But the funniest thing about Trevor, he was stretching right before he did it. He stuck in a full-out stretch on the field, stretching his hamstrings, everything. So I said, I hope he didn't give that away. But it was a great kick by him. I have seen teams do that. I know we've done it before on teams that I've been on, and it's just a way to say, hey, we're going for it on third down. And if they're not ready, we kick it. We pin them deep down in their territory. In that case, we end up getting points. So it was a great kick by Trevor. I'm glad he stretched them hamstrings out and got it off, and he did a good job, man. So that was a good thing for us and the team.
Okay, so you go ahead, Maz.
I was going to say, you mentioned you played in the SEC. College football started on Saturday. You're a Georgia Bulldog. What's better, a Georgia win or watching Alabama lose to Florida State? Kalen DeBoer, and what is happening to the program? They're calling for one loss, Phil, and they're calling for his head. They want Nick Saban back, give him whatever money he wants. You got to be loving the fact that Roll Tide isn't rolling all that well today.
I love it. Now, I love it when Alabama lose. But, because I expect my dogs to win, you know what I'm saying? That's like a no-brainer. But I mess with their fans. I'm on my Facebook page messing with their fans so much. And my number one thing that I always say to them, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So I always throw that out there, and I put this rabbit on there with a gun. So I'm messing with them. So I love it when they lose. Their fans are so, I don't know, I can't describe them, man. They just get on your nerves. They just too arrogant. And so whenever they lose, I'm happy about that. But my thing is with the coach, it's hard to come in and replace a legend, a guy who wins all the time. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have took that job, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to follow him. But my thing is, I felt he had a nice career going at Washington. He came in here and he knew he could do it. And I think with his offense, he just needs a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can sling that thing out. Somebody can run around, throw it. And you saw the quarterback he had in Washington. That's what he need. And I think it's going to take him some time. And I think the Alabama people got to realize, it's sports, you know what I'm saying? With the NIL and the, and all this, getting in the portal, everything changed. Everything changed. And a lot of people like to say that Nick Saban probably left because of that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, every year, everybody got a chance now. And if you ain't up on your recruiting and getting the right people out of the portal, I mean, look at Florida State, what they did, You got to be able to get in that portal, get the right kind of guys that fit your system and guys that go come in and play hard for you, and it'll change. But, I love it when Alabama lose, tell you the truth. Listen, I don't care nothing about Alabama. And we played them this year. So it's going to be fun.
I went to the game last year in Tuscaloosa when Georgia was there. What an atmosphere that was. There might be a head coaching job available soon at North Carolina. The guy just might not show up there anymore.
How bad was that? It was so bad.
I want to ask you, as a former Redskin, have you watched the Cowboys Netflix series yet at all? I know you don't have a lot of time.
I haven't, man. I haven't watched it, but
off season, you got to get into that. As a guy that played against that team and everything, it is unreal. Okay, I know we kept you a little bit long, but I got to let you know. Dallas Philly Thursday night. Philly is -8.5, so you got ties to Philly. But then the Giants in Washington. I heard today people are taking the Giants to beat Washington. Is that crazy?
I don't know. I mean, you think McLaurin, he held out for a while. You know what I'm saying? They traded the running back Robinson away. They got a young guy back there now, and they got Eckler. I mean, you never know how that game can go. And teams improve so much over the course of an off season. So I don't know how New York's going to be. So if they can stop the run, and they got the guys, the size, and they got the guys to do that, they may have a chance. But I can't go against Washington. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I played there. And also looking at Philly and Dallas, you know what I'm saying? You would think that's going to be a really good game, but I just think Philly got too much for them. Saquon running that ball, and I know how hard it's been for Dallas to stop the run. Now they bettered themselves by trading away
Micah.
I just feel like they bettered themselves because not that they traded him away, it's just because of what they got back in return. They got a D tackle back in that trade that can help them a whole lot with that run game, because I know Green Bay was like number 7 last year. So, and they had trouble stopping the run. They were number 30 last year. If you can just improve on stopping the run game, you're gonna be that much better. Because when you look at the playoffs and teams that get to the playoffs, teams that win games, it's all about stopping the run. Everybody think it's sacks. You know what I'm saying? You trade a sack guy away. Yeah, have them sacks. But I need to stop this run to give me more opportunities to rush the passer, and then my other guys will get more sacks. You know what I'm saying? So people look at it the wrong way, and coaches look at it the wrong way, and that's where they fail. So I just think it's we'll see what happens, man. But I think Philly is a little bit too strong for them, especially first game of the season when you got all this stuff going on in the off season. It's going to get kind of crazy.
We're looking for an NFL insider on the show, so we might be calling you more. That's some good insight.
let me know, man. Hey, let me know. I'm good at that.
we pay you in Western Pizza and KFC. That's all we got. All right.
That'll be fine.
All right, Coach. Best of luck. Have a good one in Winnipeg on the rematch. Go get it. Appreciate you taking time today again.
All right. Thank you guys for having me.
Right on. There he is. Oh, there's some good insight there from Riders defensive line coach Phillip Daniels.
Curtis, send that tape to Jerry Jones. There's one guy in North America that agrees with what Jerry did, and but he makes a good point. You can't stop the run. The sacks don't matter.
Yeah. And I know some people are like, oh, maybe why aren't we talking more about this guy played a lot of games in the NFL. You got to pick his brain about football in general and SEC. And just charismatic.
How happy is he that Carson Beck is not the starting quarterback for Georgia anymore, and he's playing for the University of Miami.
Do you got Jerry's email by chance? I'll send it off right now.
Jerry.jones@gmail.com. Try that first.
Yeah. And then have we emailed Taylor Swift about coming on the show? Like has anybody done that? To Taylor.swift@gmail.com.
Taylor Swift's email by chance?
She answers DMs. She answers her DMs on Insta. The Riders Coaches Show, it's usually on Mondays. It's on Tuesday today, obviously brought to you by the Roughrider Foundation 50/50. The early bird this week before Thursdays in Mexico, all-inclusive. And also Steelcraft Doors in Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors, Regina. Break time. It's now that time you want to call. 936-6262, because when we come back after the break, we got Pumpjacks trivia, $150 on the line today. It's a Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
Wondering what your equipment is really worth? Hi, I'm Riley McChesney from McDougall Auctioneers, your go-to appraisal experts. With our finger on the pulse in today's market, we offer the most accurate, up-to-date valuations for your machinery. Planning to expand or thinking of selling? Get the real value of your equipment with McDougall Auctioneers. Over 42 years of expertise at your service. Call us at 1-800-263-4193 or visit us at McDougallAuction.com.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Margaret had questions, she talked to Brian Gawley.
We have been with Brian right from when the tax-free savings account came into being. He gave us very solid advice.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Gawley of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
I would not hesitate to recommend him to friend, relative, or anybody else.
Looking for the best gear at the best price? Extreme Hockey and Sport just raised the bar. Now, with a price match guarantee, find the same product anywhere else, show the price, and they'll match it. The gear you need, the service you trust, and the price you want. Why settle for anything less? Get the local loyalty and the price match guarantee only at Extreme Hockey. Any budget, expert fit. Your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's hockey shop.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
More power, more output, more comfort. The Fendt Ideal Combine is ready to roll on your farm. The most innovative and modern combine on the market, the Fendt Ideal Combine has exceptional efficiency backed by the industry's best warranty. An unbelievably comfortable cab, the Fendt Ideal Combine is ahead of the game and the best in the game. The Fendt Ideal Combine is ready to roll on your farm. See for yourself at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nicksservice.com.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Great rewards don't wait. Why should you? Through the Invigor Book and Buy Grower program, you could earn a $30 per bag rebate when you book all your Invigor hybrid canola by November 14th. Talk to your retailer. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
You guys can go if you got non-clutch performers, but I got to go Marshall Erickson of the University of Regina Rams, 4 touchdowns in the opener in Calgary. 43-36 overtime win for the Rams. But craziness, never seen it. Was there 9 seconds left? Maybe 6 seconds left. They're down 9 points, Calgary. They score a touchdown. They get a 2-point convert. Then they kick it through the end zone on the kickoff for the 9. Which I've never seen that, Matt. No wind, too. I heard there was no wind.
The message should have been, when you get that ball, make sure you come out of the end zone or you kick it out of the end zone. Don't let it go through. Yo, man.
Yeah. Noah Pelletier had a nice 358 yards passing there. Go ahead.
My clutch performer, as it is back to school. School bus drivers. Thankless job. Looking after our kids. Sometimes they don't behave all that well. And you're just grinding morning and the afternoon and then traffic. Oof. School bus drivers, clutch performer today and all year. Because today, at least, the weather's nice. There's nothing to worry about. Everyone's fresh from vacation. Talk to us mid-January. It's minus 29, bit of a wind chill, little snowdrift happening.
People doing illegal
maneuvering.
People doing illegal U-turns right in front of you, slamming on the brakes. The mom with her eyelashes and her SUV. What are you doing?
Can I go unclutch performer? So it's bad enough. Bike lane people of Regina. All right, people already don't like you. So on Friday I'm driving. They're, instead of riding single file because it's not that wide, no, they're riding in tandem. So now I'm over across the line because the last thing I want to have happen is get anywhere near you and you two fall over because you're both going to be lawyers and you're going to sue me because that's just who you are. And listen, single file, not tandem. It was built for skinny lanes. You're already not a lot popular. That doesn't help your cause. Unclutch performer for Nick's Service.
Do you have one, Curtis? No, okay. Clutch performers for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077. You're out there farming. Ladies and gentlemen, be safe. Nick's Service always there to help. Okay, here it is. We're playing for 150 on the trivia this week.
It's time for Sportscage Trivia for Pumpjacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Okay, we got Kelly Stewart on the line. Kelly, are you still there with us?
I still am, yeah.
All right. Okay, I wasn't sure if you're maybe in your bike lane. Maybe you're biking today. we weren't sure. Okay, Maz is gonna ask the question, and then you have 10 seconds to answer it. You win. You got $150 to Pumpjacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert here in Regina. Great spot, post game, and on weekends. I got live bands. If you don't get it right, you still win a free lunch. All right, you ready to rock?
Sounds great. Yes.
Okay, Maz, go ahead.
All right, this is easy. Don't start the timer yet, Curtis. Last week, we had Zach Collaros on the show. And Zach, when he went to the University of Cincinnati, he was a Bearcat. He had a very famous roommate. Who was Zach Collaros' college roommate? Start the timer now.
Kelsey.
Which one?
Well, which one?
Jason.
No, we're still giving it to him. It's Travis. We're still giving it to him.
Well,
we're making an executive decision. Kelly, we're still giving it to you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hey, you enjoy yourself at Pumpjacks Cathedral. Thanks for calling in and playing. And then, hey, after you go, let us know how it was. Send us in a text message.
Actually, that's the reason why I sent in, because I've been there and it's awesome.
Is it? What did you have?
I had the ribs.
Ooh, dry or like baby back?
Oh, no. No, dry.
Oh, yeah. I had the dry ribs there. They're solid. All right, Kelly.
Yep.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks, man. Still got to give it to him. Good stuff.
Sure. But did I not say in our meeting this morning?
Yeah, you did.
Because I get confused, Jason and Travis, and people, how could you get them confused? But when you start talking, when you don't see them and you're just talking about them, it's very easy to get confused. One of them looks like a guy you'd want to sit down and have a beer with. We all know which one that is. It's the one that's retired and doesn't play anymore. And then there's the guy that's going to marry Taylor Swift. Just a quick question, because both you and I, Curtis, are you engaged yet?
No, he's not. He's actually talking to Kelly. He's taking Kelly's information too. He can't hear you right now.
Oh, he's taking Kelly's information. So you and I are both married. I don't know how involved you were in your wedding. I was to a minor degree in mine. It's not that I wasn't trying. I have a feeling that Taylor may have most of the control in whatever happens with them walking down the aisle.
Part of me thinks this might be one of the first made-for-TV weddings. Netflix, somebody pick it up, pay $1 billion, because she is huge.
She moves the needle.
Daughter,
she moves
my
the
daughter
needle.
would have a party, the Taylor Swift wedding party, have friends over. They'd make mocktails. That's what I think. Made-for-TV wedding.
Listen, if they show every royal wedding on TV still, I don't know what else CBC is showing these days, but Taylor Swift, you could easily, I want to know how much they sold the engagement photos for to Us Weekly, because they would have sold them for millions of dollars to have those rights. So that's actually not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Okay, we got more to come to. Keep the text messages coming. 936-6262. What are you thinking about that Rider game? We had a number of people messaging about the face mask. I don't know what to tell you. I think it should have been as well. I'm on board with you. If you're watching the stream, there was a lot
more going on. Yeah, to me, there was a lot more going on with the game than the face mask. That wasn't my biggest concern.
Mm-hmm.
Mine had to do with not being able to close out the game. Our field goal kicker missing a convert. If you miss a 50-yarder, nobody cares. That's a long bomb that's a low percentage play.
Yeah.
But stuff that is convert and in.
Yeah, let us know what you think. 936-6262. When we come back, we're going to have more winning. More winning on the Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com. Curtis says thanks to everyone who's hitting the like button there today through the YouTube channel. And if not, you can catch us on the streams and always on the stick, 620 CKRM.
Sports Cage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did.
Down here, I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
SEIU West members are
Stores Person,
Unit Assistant,
Finance Officer,
Unit Clerk,
Recreation Coordinator,
Youth Care Worker, Medical Laboratory Technologist,
Power Engineer,
Office Administrative Assistant,
Maintenance Services Worker,
Medical Transcriptionist, Medical Office Assistant, File Clerk, Medical Laboratory Assistant,
Pharmacy Technician. The backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seius.ca.
Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram presents the Price Beat Guarantee. All right, folks, here's how the game works. Bring us any competitor's price on a brand new vehicle, and we won't just match it, we'll beat it. And if we can't, you walk away with $1,000 cash. Guaranteed. But wait, there's more. We're offering 20% over Black Book value for any trade brought in this month. The Price Beat Guarantee. Only for a limited time at Crestview in Regina.
Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the show on Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lottery, main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Saskatchewan. Thanks to Kelly playing along on Pumpjacks Cathedral trivia there. And then Brian texted us in, put us in our place. They were both Zach Colaris' roommates for 3 seasons. So there. I think Maz is stuck up on the famous part of it, but good catch, Brian in Udorf. Let's go out right now and talk to Brian Raymond from Flowing Springs Golf Course, like we do every Tuesday and Thursday. And Brian, a heck of a Labor Day game. We got the win. Now, the misconception, Brian, people have is like, it's September, it's fall, bring the dock in, everything's done. September's the best time to golf, in my opinion.
You're absolutely right. We know we got a taste of it for the last couple of weeks because we didn't have much wind, and that's typical of what happens all throughout September. We don't usually get a lot of wind. The temperatures are cooling off. It's like today. It's gorgeous out right now. It's a little bit of a breeze, but the temperatures are comfortable. You don't have to worry about getting caught with too much sun and that sort of thing. So it's been actually pretty good. And we had a great weekend over the weekend. We had lots of folks from Winnipeg in, surprisingly, but that was awesome.
Nice. Did they do well in the lounge? It seemed like
nobody tried to pick a fight with them, at least not yet.
What? Hey, you moved the twilight time. Give people the heads up on that.
Yes, indeed. We started it last week. We moved up to 5:30 for the start of our twilight, and next Monday we're going to move it to 8 o'clock. And this is all in an effort to give people a chance to get at least 9 holes in. And one of the things that we should mention, too, is people are going to get a little disappointed because they think they have to tee off a lot later. We book a week in advance. So if you know, for instance, that you're going to play next Tuesday night here at Flowing Springs, give us a call now. We can do it. So it's a week. We book everything a week in advance.
There we go. Range is still busy out there?
Yes, it is. A lot of people still practicing, taking out their frustrations, that sort of thing. And, we're obviously closing a little bit now, but usually about sunset, you can still get golf balls here probably till about, 7 o'clock and get a chance to hit them.
Awesome. And then let's just go before we go to the Monday and Wednesday specials.
That's right. Monday and Wednesday, if you're a lady or a senior, meaning over 60, every Monday, every Wednesday, $39 to come out and play the golf course.
Oh, beauty. All right, Brian, thanks so much. Should be a nice night to swing the wrenches tonight, and we'll catch up on Thursday.
You betcha.
Right on. Brian Raymond. You can go visit Flowing Springs. You can book online, like he said, 7 days in advance. That's a solid move. If not, you can just call out there. If you don't want to book online, call out to Flowing Springs, and they can do the booking for you. All easy, simple like that. The number is 543-5050. Maz is back with us here. All right, we got to give this away. Rams game, we talked about craziness in Calgary. Home opener this Friday at Leibel Field. Sportscage is going to be live there before. So I hope there's a massive tailgate, which there won't be. That'd be great. That'd be great atmosphere for us to do the show in. Go, filter through some of the setups. But we have every day this week, so we're going to do this one right now. Rams prize pack. 2 tickets to the game Friday. Rams and Golden Bears. 2 youth Ram hoodies.
Ute.
Perfect.
2 Ute.
And 2 Ram water bottles. All right? So what we're going to do is 936-6262. Just text in the word Rams, and then Curtis is going to find someone at the end, spin the wheel of winning, and you can go to the game. 2 tickets to the game Friday night, 2 Rams hoodies, and 2 water bottles. Those are youth hoodies. Or if you're smaller in stature, I'm sure they'll fit you. All right? Hey, you know what I mean?
And
maybe there's a jockey
that
that's going to text in.
There's a rumor that if there is a tailgate, Sharky is actually going to fire up the barbecue, and he's just going to give away wild game that he's killed over the years. I asked about it when you were away about the trailer thing, and can we shoot the guns out the window? Basically, we're not invited to ever go be part of that, and that if we're a pain in the on the drive out, he said there's ways of dealing with us before we ever get there. So,
barbecue roulette at Sharky's house. Never doing that. What is that, a potato? I'll eat that. It's like the one time we went to Nogales in Mexico. Everyone's like, order. I'm like, I'm not eating any of that. They got donkeys in the back. Did you see that? Tied up? I'm sticking with the French fries. Or tater tots.
It's funny that you mentioned fries. There's been a bunch of places, whether they be in foreign countries or relatives you really don't trust. You go to their house, bread and butter. I was teaching this to kids, except for the one that has the gluten and dairy allergies. Bread and butter, solid. You can always get by on that. Fries are pretty much good anywhere, even if they're kind of homemade-ish. Shouldn't kill you.
Yeah.
Pickles are generally solid. There's just a lot of
best
go-to no foods.
Best lunch, school lunch. I think if I was my kids, I never had this. I remember Mom making me Click sandwiches. Remember Click? Like Spam? No,
Canadian Spam
with some
Canadian
bread.
Spam.
It's like, I'm gonna go eat this by myself out behind the portable. But pizza pops, but I'd put pizza pops and Eggos, 2 of the greatest inventions in food history.
The thing about going to Hawaii, and if you've been there, Spam is a big part of their diet. Because they honor it. If you go to Burger King or McDonald's, you can get a meal with Spam in it. Because that's how much they revere Spam in the Hawaiian Islands. It's gross on the mainland. It's gross on the island. And Click is Canadian. It's the Canadian version, tariff-free. Spam. Elbows down, Barn. In the kitchen, elbows down.
Click. I can't believe it. And now, we'll walk down aisles at grocery stores, and I'll show my kids and be like, I ate this for lunches. This right here. Or a cucumber sandwich. What's going on? And
solid.
Bread,
Bread,
butter,
so
cucumbers, sandwich. What? And then now, I don't want to take pizza pops. Listen, you're going to get a Click sandwich if you don't shut up.
I still remember in June they were going on a field trip somewhere, so they had to bring their lunch. And I went to Subway, and because the cost of everything's up, like a 6-inch sub was $9 something. And you're like, I would have loved to revert to, can we just make you a cucumber sandwich? But that doesn't fly in our house either. It does not fly.
Lots of people texting in Rams. Some guys texted in Ram. Ram. We're looking for Rams or Ram if you want to win that prize pack. It is a Sports Cage. Quick break. It's streaming at sportscage.com.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Duncan, Tegan Whitco's at 11. The pregame show's at 1. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 2. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation, UFA, and Croft Electric. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Auction Link is having their big unreserved September auction sale September 6th to 10th, just in time for harvest. This sale has items you won't want to miss, including a 2011 Kenworth T680, a 2011 MacDon Draper header, a Brad 1095A grain belt conveyor, and much more. If you break down and can't wait for the auction, head over to Asset Link where there's equipment inventory available every day. Asset Link with yards in Saskatoon, Lloydminster, and Lacombe. You can buy right now on assetlink.ca.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Don't miss the Suitor Ship Pioneer Village and Museum Threshing Bee on September 6th and 7th. Admission is just $10 for adults, children 6 to 12 or 5, and a 2-day pass is $16. Gates open at 8 a.m. Demonstrations include threshing, plowing, rope making, and blacksmithing, and you can catch the tractor pull both days, as well as a pancake breakfast from 8 till 10. Church service is Sunday at 11. Raffle car draw is Sunday at 2 p.m. The Suitor Ship Pioneer Village and Museum, 13 kilometers south of Moose Jaw on Highway 2 in the North Field near the elevator. Visit SuitorShipMuseum.ca.
There's something we need to talk about: debt. I know it can be an uncomfortable topic, but the truth is most of us carry some form of debt and we are ashamed to talk about it. My name is Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. Every day, people struggling with debt come to me for a solution. When you make that call, I'll listen to your story without judgment and will lead you to a debt-free future. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasses TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
The Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery is back with a ton of prizes up for grabs, including the $1.7 million show home in the Creeks. Proceeds support healthcare in Regina's hospitals and continue to enhance vital medical programs. Tickets at hrfhomelottery.com. Join the Ovarian Cancer Canada Walk of Hope on Sunday, September 7th. Registration takes place at 11:30 at Miller Comprehensive Catholic High School. More details at ovariancancerwalkofhope.ca. And the North Saskatoon Business Association invites you to its first ever Popcorn and Entrepreneurs event in Regina, September 10th at the AGT Lounge inside Mosaic Stadium. Networking, popcorn, and a documentary highlighting one of our province's most influential entrepreneurs, Paul Hill. Visit nsbasask.com.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Riders had the day off today. If you missed it, Coach Phillip Daniels was on the Coaches Show. You can go back, listen to podcast for him. He breaks down the game nicely for us. He'll be back at it tomorrow. Blue Jays, they need to start winning baseball games. Game 2 versus the Reds after a loss today. Getting started here right away. They're 2.5 up on the Red Sox and Yankees in the AL East. Don't forget high school football starting a lot of places. I know it started a few last week. We want to know what's up with your team, your community, whether it's 6-a-side, 9-a-side, or 12-a-side. Email us, hi, that's H-I, at sportscage.com, and let us know what's going on in your neighborhood with your team. Prince Albert and the Blades played Western Hockey League preseason today. The Blades won that 3-1. Humboldt and Kindersley are playing tonight in the SJ preseason, 7:30. In hour 2, it's for Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina, where they have the price match guarantee. If you're into shopping local and you find a cheaper price, they can match it now. Extreme Hockey and Sport. We will have Arash Madani in hour 3. It's a Sports Cage on Tuesdays for Sask Lottery, streaming at sportscage.com.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
Good evening, I'm Tanner Waldes-Scribner from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. A new Fraser Institute study says Saskatchewan has slipped from 1st to 7th in the country for per-student spending on public education. The report looked at a decade of school spending and found that while the province's total education budget grew, inflation and rising enrollment has meant less money per student. In real terms, per-student spending fell nearly 15%, the second steepest drop in Canada after Alberta. Saskatchewan's enrollment grew by nearly 10%, stretching resources farther even as costs like salaries, benefits, and pensions climbed. The study's authors say the findings show that total dollars spent don't always reflect what's happening in classrooms. Gas prices in Saskatchewan edged higher again this week. The average price is now 141.3 cents per liter, climbing just over a cent compared with last week. That follows a larger 6-cent increase the week before, linked to a U.S. refinery outage. Nationally, prices moved in the opposite direction, dipping about a half a cent to an average of 138.2 cents per liter. Gas Buddy says while oil prices remain stable, refinery dynamics and a weaker Canadian dollar are creating pressures. The company adds Canadians could see modest relief at the pump later this fall. The federal government's major projects legislation, closing the infrastructure gap on First Nations, and federal budget expectations are expected to be discussed at this week's annual meeting of the Assembly of First Nations. The meeting's set to begin on Wednesday in Winnipeg and marks the first time leaders of more than 600 First Nations across Canada will gather to discuss Ottawa's legislation to fast-track major projects. National Chief Cindy Woodhouse-Nepanak says the federal government's upcoming budget is an opportunity for Ottawa to commit to closing the infrastructure gap and address mistrust from the legislation.
On capacity building and on the Building Canada Act, the AFN budget submission recommends an $800 million investment over the next 2 years to support First Nations review of national interest projects.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget is expected to be released in October. Smoke in much of Alberta and Western Canada is causing very poor air quality, while wildfires continue to rage in Canada's north. Environment Canada's Christy Kleiman-Haga says air quality warnings for regions of both prairie provinces are in effect, with smoke also reducing visibility in some areas.
When you see smoke to this extent, when you do have, air quality health index values of 10 plus, you really want to be limiting your time outside as much as you can and keeping your doors and windows closed to keep the air inside your house as clean as you can, because it does cause side effects.
The warning comes as wildfires in the Northwest Territories, including one not far from the hamlet of Fort Providence, forced hundreds to flee their homes. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620CKRM.com.
Let's get out on the water.
Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
This back-to-school season, don't be prehistoric.
Mom, my phone is basically a fossil.
Sweetie, your phone's older than a T-Rex.
Time to evolve at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
They have new phones, back-to-school deals, internet and max TV stream, and no extinct data plans.
In 2025, there's no excuse to roam with a Jurassic phone. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel, echosound.ca.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street. And Matt's Furniture. Visit them at mattsfurniture.ca.
Now it's time for your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast for Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com in all socials. Now with your Precision Weather Forecast, here's Phil Spivak.
Cooler air is building in through the night. The wind will settle down, the sky turning mainly clear. That does set up the potential for some patchy frost. Not a major widespread concern, but some patchy frost is a possibility. Temperatures getting down within a few degrees of zero, likely right around 2 or so. We'll get back to 18 with a mainly sunny sky for Wednesday, and then a bit of cloudiness will mix back in through the afternoon. The wind stays light, the air mass pretty dry, but clouds and moisture begin to work right back in by later Wednesday night into Thursday. And along with the cloudiness, wind increases. Chance for a few spotty showers Wednesday night and Thursday. Low of 9 and a high of 16. Winds gusting over 70 kilometers per hour at times. Clearing, still breezy on Friday, 16 the high, and then things settle back down and warm back up to near or above normal Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 20. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to your daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Now till October 1st, it's the Maytag Dependable Savings Event. Buy any 2 qualifying Maytag major kitchen appliances and save an extra $150. Buy 3 or more and save an extra $300. And buy any Maytag eligible washer and dryer pair and save an extra $100. See in store for all the details. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the show. Last hour on Tuesday. Like he said, for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Thanks if you're making time watching it through the YouTube channel and sportscage.com. Maybe you're out on the combine, farming, harvesting, listening in on 620 CKRM or the apps coming through in crystal clear FM frequency. Or what frequency would that be, Maz? You're up to date with the apps. What's that? Is that what do we say there? Coming through in stereo?
It would be a digital signal.
Curtis
because
says
it's
digital.
It's a digital signal because it's not going through any transmitter.
Yeah.
So if you've got us on your phone, Apple or Android store, it's free. And then sign up for the notifications. We love to send out notifications. Anytime anything happens, boom, something's going to show up on your phone.
It's we listen to it in Alexa. The sound is great. It sounds sexy. So yeah, that's how you can listen to us. It's awesome. Prairie Land Rentals text line. First is a sad one. Georgie texted today. Clutch performer. Could have been a little bit earlier. He's probably busy. He wanted to give huge performance and acknowledgement to both current and past firefighters in their town, Pilot Butte, Balgony, White City, Emerald Park, for containing the Saturday fire to 2 homes. Could have been a whole community of Aspen, Crescent, Plains Court. I saw that on Just Bins. Yes, I go on Just Bins.
Yeah, I saw
They're
that.
great.
I saw that as well. And I mean, luckily, if there was strong winds, and that that if you're a firefighter, it's flames are one thing. It's the wind you can't control.
One thing I can't do: firefighting. Be a nurse. Be a teacher. Cop, maybe. The other stuff, the hard stuff. Ooh.
No. I'm going to exclude you from that bottom one as well.
Cops,
that takes
I'm out on the cop. Okay.
Would you pass the test? Would you answer all the questions honestly? The lie detector.
No, I wouldn't.
Well,
how about some sort of security guard? A high performance security job. Could do that. Except I don't want to sit at the table. Now it looks boring. Okay, and then the other text came in because we talked about Click and ham and kids taking lunches, and I had to take Click and a cucumber sandwich the odd time that got all soggy and gross. Dustin from Calgary. First grade, I think he said LOL like he was laughing along. First grade cup in Regina, my grandma packed sandwiches, not Spam. Pretty sure we were the only family at Taylor Field eating lamb sandwiches.
Not as bad as we were on a family vacation, and because we have an odd amount of kids, I had to sit in the other row with 2 other people. They ate egg salad sandwiches on the way to Hawaii one time. And they told me the rationale. Well, we needed to clean out the fridge. So she had not 2 of them. She had packed 6. She goes, I don't know if we're going to eat them all. Because they were nice people and they offered me one. Now my wife's looking over. And I'll eat eggs occasionally, but egg salad is probably, and deviled eggs and hard-boiled eggs, probably one of the grossest things on earth. But sitting next to that on a hot plane, she is loaded for bear with 6 egg salad sandwiches because she couldn't bear to throw them out before they went on their luxurious Hawaiian vacation. And I'm like, thank you, no, I'm good. I wish this is long before masking was ever a thing. This was like a decade ago. I would have put on 2 masks to not have to smell that for hours.
Masking still a thing in downtown Regina. One just walked by. It's egg salad sandwich on an airplane. I've had spicy food as well. I don't get it. I really don't. Let's maybe let's talk to Arash. What was his favorite lunch to take back in his school days? Let's go with Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Arash, I'll put the pizza pop up against any sort of luncheon sandwich for the kids these days. What about you? What was your go-to?
Oh, man. I find this is a running theme of the last week with you and I, Barney. I loved when we'd order pizza and I'd have leftover pizza as the lunch, right? So that to me was
explain to Sasky people how good that was to wake up that morning and know you had cold Western pizza in your hotel fridge.
Hotel fridge after having how many cocktails with you jackals on Wednesday night?
No one's counting. Who cares?
No one's counting. So it definitely helped clear up some cobwebs. The other thing about lunch was, remember November 1st at lunch when everyone brought their best Halloween stuff? Like the first day after Halloween, that's when you'd have the full chocolate bars, the big bags of chips, the cans of pop.
Truro, Nova Scotia rolled a little different than the West Side and Saskatoon, Maz. It was like a popcorn ball. Who gave me an apple? Those gross Halloween sucker things.
And people would give pennies. Like,
oh, what a life!
Things you should never do. Consume the apple.
Anything homemade. Nope, sorry. Okay, it was Maz and I talked at the beginning of the show. The Hamilton-Toronto game. What a finish. The Riders Bombers, no slouch, although it was 4. I thought I had a steal at 4.5. I was jumping up and down. Pretty good weekend of football. Hey, Arash?
I mean, it was as good as it gets as advertised, those 2 games. Now, I got to tell you something I was telling Curtis before we came on. I mean this sincerely. I was hoping the Bombers were going to convert on the 2-point conversion. I really was. Nope. Because I wanted the game to come down to a Brett Lauther field goal attempt. I badly wanted to see the kid deliver. Just became a dad, embattled at home, boom, to get it done. But then Tavon Campbell took care of business.
What if they gambled? Because what if they said, no, we're just going to... Or if they did go with the kick, what if he misses, though?
Okay, so here's a question. And I thought about this morning. What if Lauther just kicks the snot at it? Like if it's a 55-6, I know he's hit from 59, but like a 60-something yard attempt, and he kicks the snot out of it. Misses, but they win on a rouge as time expires. Is that a success? You win the game.
Yeah, I don't see. No, because now there's a good chunk of Rider Nation
one in a million talk.
I don't think it is.
It's funny. My point to Barney was there was a lot of people thinking, because our champagne problems now that we're 9-2 are back again, that we didn't beat the Bombers by enough. People wanted 15 or 20 points. I'm like, there's no. Like Winnipeg is a good football team. They're 6-5. They're not Ottawa. Once again, they are not the Ottawa Red Blacks. As long as Zach Collaros is their starting quarterback, they have a chance. And you saw it, a chance to score and a chance to score quickly, Arash. That's the part that didn't go away. Winnipeg can score in 2 plays. They can drive the field and put it in the end zone, it seems. Still, depleted or not.
Here's something else I was thinking about today. Because it's becoming very clear what the glaring issues are with the Bombers. I remember, this is going back a while ago, but when Anthony Calvillo, maybe in year 2 of becoming the starter in Montreal, Don Matthews is like, you know what we're going to do, AC? We're going to have you call the plays in the huddle. There's not going to be signals from the sideline. There's not going to be dudes coming in off the bench with the play call. Certainly in those days, there was no microphone in your helmet. AC, this is your offense. You run the show. We're going to do all our game planning before. We can talk between possessions. But in the huddle, on the field, what if Winnipeg does that with Zach? Like, Zach's earned that. He knows the offense. He's got the command of and respect to the guys. Look, this is from afar. My sense is there's some frustration there with the play calling. It's a first-year offensive coordinator. It's a dude who's been elevated from running back coach, which for the most part is one of the junior-level positions on a coaching staff. Zach let it fly in the 4th, and it worked for them. Give him the keys. They're 6-5. Why not? Why not?
That's not a bad way to look at it, that's for sure. Didn't think of it. I want to go... You talked about coaching. You think Winnipeg gets out coached a bit in that game?
I do. And Curtis, I forgot to ask if we actually have this. Remember at the end of the game, or near the end of the game, the punt?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so situational football is about preparation. It's about, okay, let's go through any and all situations in training camp during the week of practice to be prepared for any kind of thing that can happen. The Bombers were fully caught off guard that in a one-score game with that embattled kicker, there could be a scenario in which the Riders would punt the football. How does that happen? Like, Mike O'Shea is a former special teams coach. These are all the things that you have to be prepared for. There's only one of three things that's going to happen here. They're either going to gamble, they're going to kick the field goal, or they're going to punt. And of course they're going to pull out a gadget play in that kind of situation. Why don't you have one person aware of what could possibly be?
I'm going to get the back of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I haven't seen it in a CFL game. I don't know if ever. I've seen it in Canadian football, but do you know the last, I was in hour one, I said this, Arash, you know who's had 2 punts in his NFL career and was really good at it? Punted on third down too, the one time, Tom Brady. That was a Belichick move. Right. Third down, we're third and kind of forever here. Catch him by surprise, punt it. I've never seen it in the Canadian game. If Winnipeg would have been prepared for that, would have shocked me. But now that you look back in it, 3rd and 6, where they were, not going to kick the field goal.
Nobody thought that was even a possibility. Mm-hmm. They got lucky. No. They were that. I mean, the ruling on the field was a safety. They were that would have ended the game right there. That could have been a safety. Not only does a 7-point game become a 9-point game, but then you lose possession on top of it all. Very fortunate it ended up being a single point that gave them a shot, which obviously with the Campbell pick wasn't a
Arash, I want to go back to the end of the first half because it was 2nd and 1. The Bombers were driving. And normally comes Chris Streveler. They're going to get the first down. They're going to keep the sticks moving. And they left Collaros out. Wait a minute. Oh, he's going to throw. And then they get the sack. I'm like, that's not Mike O'Shea football. That right there, that's not what they normally do. And as a Rider fan, I'm like, thank you very much, Mike O'Shea, for drifting off course, because 99.9% of the time, you bring in Streveler, you get that yard, it's first down, sticks are moving. Because my big thing, I'm like, are they gonna make this a 17 half if they go down and score? Thank you, Bombers.
There's just no rational explanation for it, Mass. I mean, that's as brutally honest as you can put it. Like, the way you handle coming in and out of a half is really important. The way you handle short yardage is really important. The way you handle situational football is really important. That was a debacle the way that first half ended. Like, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for a self-scout of the Bombers first. Like, if they had a bye week coming up and they went back and did a self-scout of their own coaching of the first 11 games, say 6 of them, 7 of them, what are they honestly saying when they look at some of the decisions that have been made? I just don't understand it.
Because that 3 points would have been really important near the end of the game, because all of a sudden they score that touchdown. Then they just got to go for 1. And then all of a sudden, then we're going to overtime. And then it's any game, because if you're getting the ball at the 35. It was a weird football game. I'm glad we won. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a blowout, which it wasn't. Winnipeg's not dead. And I have to say, after you guys interviewed Zach Collaros last week, because he always looks a little grumpy in the media, what a good dude. He's a fun guy. Just what a good dude. I wish we would have got a chance to see maybe more of him in Rider Nation, because he just seems like a great guy.
I think the guys interviewing him were really good dudes, is what I heard too, as well. That's not the feedback I saw online. Don't check the comments on Reddit. That is not the feedback on Reddit. Oh yeah.
I just want to tie the bow. One last thing on the Winnipeg thing. Best player in the Canadian Football League last year. Best Canadian in the Canadian Football League last year. Brady Oliveira, 5 carries,
24 yards.
5 times you call the number of the best player in the league. What are you doing?
Okay, what do you think this weekend then in the return match? Just a steady dose of Oliveira?
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I really am intrigued. It cannot continue to be this way. I just want to say this too, guys, before I forget, because the 3 of us have been watching Canadian football for a long time. And maybe it's because he's in a non-sexy position. Maybe it's because he went to a university that didn't have a lot of November success. Maybe it's because we forgot about him when he went to the NFL. On the 2nd of September, I am confident in stating that the best defensive player in the Canadian Football League this season is Tavon Campbell. Like, to me, it's also like Moncrief is in the conversation, but it's not close. And yeah, like the punctuation, the final brushstroke, the exclamation point was the pick six that wasn't really a pick two, I guess. Is that what you call it when you take a 2-point convert back to the house?
The deuce.
His speed, his anticipation, his ability to track down a football, his closeout speed, his catch-up speed, his instincts, his football IQ, like every single thing that you would want in a corner, the athleticism, the intel, the film study. I mean, it's all of it. It's all of it. And he's making game-changing plays, game-sealing plays on Sunday night. Remember earlier in the game, along the opposite sideline, he tracked down a football that had no business being tracked down. I don't know if I still have a vote. I have the last few years, but if so, already, to me, Campbell is the CFL's Defensive Player of the Year for 2025.
Okay. Maz is going to back me on this, I think, now. But why wouldn't a guy or girl put a little sprinkle, if that's what you're into, on the Toronto Argonauts to at least make the Grey Cup at this point?
Is there a better 4-8 football team, Arash? Man, Nick Arbuckle is tearing up the league.
So, Barney, I want to go back to like April, maybe May. I kept telling you, I don't think Chad Kelly's playing this year. Then there were all these reports, Chad Kelly's practicing. I kept telling you, I don't think Chad Kelly's playing this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's September 2nd. The way Nick Arbuckle is playing right now, you ride Nick Arbuckle regardless of how Chad Kelly's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Arbuckle was absolutely splendid yesterday. And it wasn't just the final drive. It was throughout the afternoon. Like, suddenly Mackay Polk is just thrown into the mix. Took a little while to get him going. You know, I think 4 balls for 11 yards or something like that is how the day started. And then when it was time for the deep ball, they went to the deep ball. When it was time, I just think his growth this season has been tremendous. Yesterday was a must-win game. Yesterday was their season in a lot of ways. Like, they needed that football game for a bunch of factors. And now you look at it and you say to yourself, okay, the Argos are in the conversation. You know, why? 33 of 40, 353, 3 tuds. And what the Argos are now doing is they're doing their best to make sure the crossover isn't in play. They're doing their best.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
You're kind of on a mini heater with hot takes. Anything else this week after your trip to Regina?
I think, actually, the Calgary-Edmonton game yesterday was just, what was that?
Oh, okay. So was that not a clinic? So
it was unwatchable.
So do a lot of people that are the so-called experts that follow this league, that write about all these people, not maybe. They don't have to apologize to John Hafnagel and Dave Dickinson, but maybe they should at least acknowledge that if you're going to blow up your roster, if you had to pick 2 guys that could do it in a year or less, that they have the pedigree. I don't know where they found all these dudes. Most of them never played the game before. And that Cody Fajardo, I feel bad for him a lot of days. Yesterday, Cody had nowhere to run. Spinorama right or left was not working because the Stampeders smothered them the whole game.
Maz, I agree with a lot of what you said, but also Vernon Adams is just playing really good football, and Vernon Adams is not turning the ball over. And that's really the name of the game. Like, if you continue to win the turnover ratio over and over and over and over again, boom. I mean, the Stamps won It wasn't pretty by any stretch. It wasn't even that. It wasn't dominant offensive football. But when you win all three facets, it's in a kicking game. You take what was a punt back to the house.
Yeah.
When you win all three facets and you don't turn the football over, that's the recipe. It's not dominance, but it wins. And that's what's kind of
162 yards. 162 yards and 1 touchdown for big play VA.
Jeffrey on the YouTube chat is going off. He's a huge Calgary fan, and he's getting some pushback from Rider fans. But at this point, I don't think you can argue that they're the team to beat.
Yeah. I don't know if they're the team to beat.
I think right now they are.
Why?
I think that it's impressive that they showed the stat yesterday during the game. They've given up the fewest touchdowns on defense. So Bob Slowick's defense, they've given up 15 touchdowns so far throughout 13 weeks of the regular season. And I think the next closest was 23 or 24.
You know why I say that, Arash? What I just feel, again, just a pigeon in Regina talking 3-hour sports here. I never coached in the league. Why I think is because you talked about situational football. You talked about situational coaching. I feel the 2 games where there was a big measuring stick for them was against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and they checked all the boxes twice. I didn't buy it in the first one. I was like, pfft. After the second game, I'm like, they match up well. They're doing something well. Now, mind you, November's a different time. October's a different time. So there's going to be a lot of factors in play. I think right now, Jeffrey said they're the best organization. Chikai on that. Maybe the best team right now, I would say, is the Calgary Stampeders.
Interesting. The best part, Barney, we're going to find out soon. We're 2 months away.
Hey, you know what, buddy? You know what's going to happen here? And I think I said this to you for when they were 4.5 games up. I was like, they could still blow this, right? Like there could be
the Jays.
Blue Jay fan tears from coast to coast. And now what are they, 2.5 up?
I know. I checked the standings last night. I'm like, what? It's back down to 2.5 games? Are you kidding me? Oh, no.
I just got a text. I just got a text. It's 8-1 Jays in the second. Can't wait for the bullpen to still blow this. I mean, that's kind of the feeling around the ball club right now, isn't it?
I've been jumping on the wagon a bit. People that are diehard, Colin Lovequist. Maybe he's not at work today.
Right.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
they're hammering. They're hammering them right now, bottom of the second. 8-1.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's 8-2. Here we go. So, and I think this is important to remember. A lot of people are kind of, and this is what happens in a pennant race and the bandwagon and whatever. A lot of people in early August, mid-August are like, yeah, let's jump on board. This is a lot of fun. They're winning games, etc. For those who have been following this from the jump, like Colin, who was great to meet last week, you ran into a situation a lot in April, May, and June where that bullpen got you through games, where the starters weren't living up to their end of the bargain, and it was the relievers that were asked to do a whole hell of a lot. The miles have caught up. And now what ends up happening, guys, and I've seen this a million times, is that when the seed of doubt gets planted into the head of a young reliever, middle-of-the-road reliever, it can be dicey. Now, the Jeff Hoffman thing honestly feels like a coin flip every time he comes into the game. But there's reason for concern here. Like, I wouldn't say worry, but concern right now with a month to go.
Okay, let's close on this question because you're taking up lots of your time. Who's on a bigger hot seat, Jeff Hoffman or Brett Lawther?
The Hofflather. It's the new sectional at Lazy Boy Furniture.
You guys are relentless on poor Brett. He just became a dad. Leave him alone.
Okay. Hey, good. Record this.
Curtis coming down in 5-4. Barney, Maz, I'm telling you this, on the 2nd of September, The most outstanding Canadian in the 2025 Grey Cup game, Brett Lawther of Truro, Nova Scotia. Boom.
Oh. Arash, those pills really hit you, and you were here last week. I think you're still feeling tipsy. I love it, though.
Yes.
I love it. All right.
And Arash, the best part is that Rider fans, because we love a comeback story, if he does go back home to Nova Scotia and goes for a walk in the woods, if they have those crazy rules, we'll pay the $28,000 fine. We'll start a GoFundMe for him.
I like
nice.
it.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to you on Thursday. Let's see how the Jays do tonight.
All right. See you, boys.
That's it. Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Gawley. Smart investing solutions. You got to be smart with your money. Call on Brian, 546-2533. We're going to break here. Keep the text messages coming. This battle that's going on YouTube here is funny to watch between Jeff and all the Sasky people. It's a Sportscage streaming on that YouTube channel through sportscage.com.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Do you have a commercial generator? Is it CSA 282 compliant? Does it need to be? At Shorty Generators, they specialize in CSA 282 testing, ensuring your equipment is up to code and ready when you need it most. Their expert technicians are certified and ready to help with fast, reliable service you can trust. CSA 282 testing. Compliance made easy. Any generator, any size, anytime. Shorty can handle it. ShortyGenerators.ca.
It's that time again. Join us for our 22nd annual Ride for Breast Cancer screening on Sunday, September 14th. Registration is at Prairie Harley-Davidson from 9:30 to 11, along with a pancake breakfast. Ride the Katepo Loop and come back for a food truck wind-up at Prairie Harley-Davidson from 12:30 to 2:30. That's the 22nd annual Ride for Breast Cancer screening on Sunday, September 14th. Proudly sponsored by Prairie Harley-Davidson, Ladies of Harley, Harley Owners Group, and 620 CKRM.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Can I help you?
Name's Terry Touchdown, sent by Western Pizza. I'm here to deliver the Saskatchewan Roughriders sweet deal. A large 3-topping pizza, 4 sticks of Greek souvlaki, a large Caesar salad, and a liter of soda. All for just $48.95 plus tax. And you're entered to win luxury suite tickets to watch the Riders, like a VIP.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Regina, get ready for some thunder. The Regina Thunder are charging into an electrifying 2025 season, and you can be on the roster, the fan roster. Come support our hometown heroes as they deliver bone-rattling hits, jaw-dropping plays, and the best local talent on the field. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be part of the winning tradition. Feel the energy and live the excitement. Season tickets are on sale now at reginathunder.ca. Bring the Thunder.
Outfit your fall adventures with Bass Pro Shops. Whether you're casting your last line of the season, heading out on the hunt, or squeezing in one last camping trip, we've got everything you need to get outside. See more at the new BassPro.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
All right, Blue Jay fans, like we said, they're in the bottom of the second inning. It is now 8-3 Blue Jays. They go into today 2.5 up in the Red Sox and Yankees. No news from Rider Camp as they had the day off today. We'll get more from there tomorrow. There was preseason WHL today. The Prince Albert Raiders, Saskatoon Blades won that 3-1. Humboldt and Kindersley in the SJ preseason tonight, 7:30 in Kindersley. Sign up for the Sportscage Insider Report. Sign up by clicking Insider Report at sportscage.com and a chance to win. In hour 3, the Sports Ticker is for Steelcraft Doors in Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. They're now into their 40,000 square foot location, so they got a garage door if you need one. Steelcraft Doors. Maz, there is benefits to tuning into the show right until the end, because we're going to play SaskTel Pick the Score right now. for the next. We got 15 minutes left of talk time in the show. We are playing it now. 936-6262. What's the score in the return match in Winnipeg this weekend between the Riders and the Bombers? Pick the score. Closest one, 2. You got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. That is a real head scratcher. As I see you scratching your head there on the stream.
Well, because so Darian last week when we had him on said, listen, the Riders are going to win at home. They're going to go to Winnipeg and lose. And if there's a lot of people, and the thing is, Darian's been right about everything. He's called pretty much, if you were to go back and look at the game tape, Darian's been pretty much bang on with about 90% of his stuff. Even the Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Brown stuff from out of left field. I don't know. Who was the texter on the text line that said Calgary is the best organization in the CFL? Because that's an interesting question. They have the best team in the CFL, but I want to know who's the best organization in the CFL, because I don't think it's the Stamps.
No, I would.
That's
Jeffrey.
No,
JT,
Jeffrey,
as his friends call him.
Jeff.
They're not the best. No.
Craven has less porta potties than McMahon Stadium. Okay, that's a 3-door outdoor music festival. And from what I saw last week, I'm like, when's Nickelback coming on? Where's Jason Aldean? Hello. I get it. It's a stadium. The Stamps, the Flames are never going to put the money into building a new stadium.
Oh.
So it is what it is. I get that. But, and having Jay McNeil on, but I would love to know who's the best organization in the CFL?
There was somebody on the weekend that said, yeah, so is Calgary getting are the Stamps getting a new stadium? Because that's what I heard. And I was like, they could barely get a new hockey rink. They think you're going to build the Stampede. They better call whoever did the redesign and retrofit of Fenway Park and Wrigley and all these old, and say, hey, can you come look at this hunk of garbage that we got up here, and how can you fix this? Because they have that for the remainder of life.
Oh, there will never. Here's a hot take, Arash. September 2nd. At least Edmonton was kind of blessed because of Commonwealth Stadium when it was built and the money that was put into it. That will sustain, although nobody goes. There'll never be a new football stadium in Calgary. I don't think ever. There's no appetite for it. The price of oil is $60-some bucks, and they just release some number and like you had said, the Flames could barely get it done, and they're owned by, are they billionaires? Lots of millionaires. But then they figured out a way how to get the city to pay for it all anyways. So I don't know. Trust me, I don't. Yeah, politics. I don't know. If the Riders get down early, that's what worries me. If, like Suit says, if you get swallowed up in the first quarter, not that we can't come back, but Darian knows he's been there.
Nick Arbuckle, 352 yards passing. Bo Levi Mitchell, 405. That's something. That's something. Oh, I want to mention too, while people are playing SaskTel Pick the Score at 936-6262, what do you think the score is this Saturday? High school football, it started last week, but this week is kind of, they're all back to it. We're going to have our Friday Night Lights feature. Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain, sponsoring. We're going to run that tomorrow because there are games on Thursday. So we're going to talk to a coach from a area team, a 6-a-side team, and we'll get right into it. But the 5A-12 started last week. Swift Current, 21-6 over Weyburn. Moose Jaw Central, 28-14 over Balgony. Yorkton Regional, 22-7 over Moose Jaw Peacock. High school football's in full go mode.
Those August practices and early September games, you kill for those come late October when there's that first freak snowstorm, and it's like, oh no, nobody wants this.
I remember one, and for some reason long sleeves were left in the dryer at Mom's house, didn't have anything. It was like 0 and rain and windy. And, like the coaches at Bedford, they was like, we gotta go, it's cold, gotta get out there. It's like, come on. I need someone to borrow me a jacket. I'll take a jean jacket at this point. Put it under my gear. I went out, my little brown arms. I remember they were just felt like frostbite. I was a quarterback. You got to sit there, stand, and throw. You're just standing around. Oh, that yeah.
You were the Trevor Harris. You could have punted the ball and stayed warm.
Yeah, that's funny that Coach Daniel saw him stretching. If you didn't listen to that, go back and listen to the podcast. Yeah. The coach's show was awesome today. Phillip Downey, he might be our NFL insider.
I would love to get him, and I don't know if he drinks beer, what kind of few beers around a table. Could you imagine the stories that he could sit around and tell? From everything he's seen from the SEC to the NFL to the CFL, and how he loves the fact that he goes online. He's a professional football coach, and he still makes time to go online and troll Alabama Crimson Tide fans on Facebook. When he said that, I'm like, should you be saying that you actually go online and troll people?
I love it.
That's the best.
An absolute beauty. Played for the Seahawks, the Bears, and then longest stint was with the Washington Redskins. They don't have time to watch the Netflix documentary. I didn't think I'd be into it. I didn't think I'd be into it. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, the Cowboys and the Gambler, or whatever it's called, because Jerry Jones is an absolute gambler. Now it all makes sense, because if you're a gambler, if you're a hardcore gambler, you're either really good or you're really no, and you always think you can beat the house. The house never loses.
Mm-hmm. For what he's done, it's incredible. So I'm 2 episodes in, which is great. Here's a story from the weekend. I feel bad. College football started. The Texas Longhorns, coached by former Rider Steve Sarkisian, Arch Manning is their quarterback. That poor kid had so much pressure on his shoulders, and they go and they play the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes, and they lose. And you would have thought this poor kid, it's his 3rd start ever in college football, that his career at age 19 is over. He didn't bring that on. It's the media that did that. And Ohio State was the national champions last year.
They could have won that game. As bad as he played, and poor guy's getting lamb-basted. Okay, get this.
What's the text line saying?
Arash just texted me. Arash just texted me. Get this. Hey, when we began talking Jays, they had an 8-1 lead. Now it's 8-6. It's been 4 minutes. Oh, Jays fans.
Well, no, and the more concerning thing, the Reds, okay, that's one thing. But rewind a few games against the Brewers, the best team in baseball. Same thing with the Dodgers. They have good pitching. They have good hitting. They have solid lineups. If we do make it, where all Jays fans want us to go, careful what we wish for, because there are some teams out there that aren't playing as the team of destiny. They're just the really good team that's going to deserve to be there, because Milwaukee, like the Dodgers, just good at baseball this year. Will they win the World Series? Who knows? But when the 2 games the Brewers won, they looked good, and the Jays didn't. The Jays are 20-55 when they score less than 4 runs.
We had a bunch of people that texted in for the Rams prize pack. Curtis is going to pick somebody. We're going to have another one to give away tomorrow, and Thursdays we get set for the Rams home opener against the Golden Bears at Leibel Field, 7 p.m. on Friday. We'll give away 2 more tickets tomorrow with the Rams youth hoodies and water bottles. Also, if you missed it, the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50 this week. The early bird prize, you got to buy by Thursday at 5 p.m. It's a Mexico all-inclusive. It doesn't say where in Mexico.
So it could be like, hey, hon, guess what? It's our anniversary. I love you. We're going to Mexico. Where? I don't know. I brought Rider 50. I won. But where we go? I have no idea.
I drove once all the way from Flagstaff, Arizona. We drove to Guaymas, which is on the coast, and we went through Hermosillo, this city in like central Mexico. There were so many VW bugs from the 70s. This was like 1996, and they had tons. They always have pop-in glasses, and glassware. That's where I talked about the guys were eating food, and I'm like, I'm sticking with French fries on this trip the whole 7 day. But it's a seven night, 5-star resort, so that's got to be good. Flights, transfers, package for 2, or you can take $5,400 cash. Riders5050.ca. And then things are starting to heat up that people are listening to the end with pick the score. Your odds are still pretty good to get in today. What's the score Saturday in Winnipeg? 936-6262. Let's go to break. Maz, we come back, we're going to talk some more about the Riders, and we're going to hear Mario Anderson's post-game interview with Tegan Whitco is awesome. You can just tell how genuine of a guy he is, how happy he was to score a couple of tutties, as the kids call them. It's a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Summers in Saskatchewan can get toasty. Be ready with a new Bryant air conditioner from Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Bronco's Bryant air conditioners are tariff-free and in stock. When Bronco installs your new Bryant air conditioner, they'll only send qualified, courteous, professional tradespeople who will do the job right, including the cleanup. For a tariff-free Bryant air conditioner, call Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, 781-2090, or visit broncoplumbing.com. They'll treat you right.
Fall is here, the air is crisp, and it's time to cozy up with your favorite comfort foods. At Sask Milk, they know the best recipes start with fresh local dairy, creamy butternut squash soup, cheesy baked pasta, and rich pumpkin spice lattes. Support your local Saskatchewan dairy farmers. Visit saskmilk.ca for delicious fall recipes and look for 100% Canadian dairy and the Little Blue Cow at your favorite grocery store.
Hey, let's hit up Pumpjacks Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pumpjacks Cathedral.
Who?
Pumpjacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pumpjacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Yar, do you fancy yourself a bit of a price pirate?
Get ready to pillage and plunder Tuesday treasures at Freeze Tallman.
It's a treasure trove of clearance items on display at the bow.
Or the front of the store. With new items announced on Tuesday, you'll never know the bounty you'll find. Check the website for updates or stop by the store in person.
Tuesday treasures. No treasure maps needed.
Visit freezetallman.com. Regina location only. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery Sand or Safari VIP prize deadline is midnight Friday. What if this is your year to choose an escape to the beaches of Turks and Caicos, or choose the unforgettable African Safari, or take $25,000 plus be in for the $1.7 million grand prize show home plus $50,000. Hurry, Sand or Safari VIP prize deadline midnight Friday. HRFHomeLottery.com.
License number LR25-0026.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. Back to Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Thanks. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday, main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. Maz is with me. Everyone's participated on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Be a great night for a Western wheel. Any of the Greek favorites they have. Call your local Western Pizza on the way home or tonight or whatever. A lot of people coming in on the Pick the Score right now. We're playing SaskTel Pick the Score for the last 5 minutes of the program. 936-62. 62. The one thing that we're going to hear from Mario Anderson and his 2 touchdowns in a bit. The one thing I kind of was like scratching my head, then Dave Thomas made sense of it in our production meeting this morning, was they pulled AJ out there, and they were like tight to the goal line. And then they put in Mario. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why are they doing that? Like, I don't know if there's a bonus structure for AJ. I'm like, he's probably going to want the touchdown. They're on like the 3 or 4 here. Hey, what are you guys doing? Taking the money out of Jimmy's mouth here. But they put in Anderson, touchdown again. Dave said that AJ needed a blow. He was tired. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that part.
Yeah, I saw him coming off. He's like, he was signaling for the replacement to come in. That's the thing. Normally, the Bombers of old, they don't give up rushing touchdowns from the 24-yard line. Like, somebody closes that down. Mm-hmm. So that was a great play call, Mueller. Great hustle by Anderson. But normally, being honest, if you said, hey, Mueller, are we scoring on this play? We're going to get some yards. Mm-hmm. Normally, you don't score from 24 out on a sweep right.
Look how happy he was to score, right? First 2 tees. Yeah, and then the second one that Curtis just showed, I think it was like maybe from the 7-yard line, a little bit further out than I thought. It was, I was like, oh, they must be running to the outside here because they pulled AJ out, or maybe they're doing an old-fashioned pitch out, but they ran it kind of right off tackle, maybe right through the middle. And, yeah, he was in. There it is right here if you're watching the stream. God, is he jacked. Awesome.
So excited. One of the most encouraging things I saw at the game on Saturday, there's a lot of beauties, guys and gals, for the Pilsner Cup advertising campaign that we may have to track down that are going to be the faces of like this as we get it going. There were some people in fine form. I wanted a 2:00 kickoff. I think the game should start at 2. I like early football games. The 5:00 crowd that probably was up by about 9 pre-gaming, and then pre-gaming the pre-game to pre-game. By the time they got to Mosaic, some good costumes, some spirit. It was great. It was great. There was people
guys
just giving her. Yes,
see lightning here on the YouTubes. Like, need to keep AJ fresh for the cold weather. Running backs take a lot of punishment. Totally aware of that. CJ got that. I've always said load management that guy because he runs so violently. He doesn't have an off switch. It's either giver or I'm not playing. Crank it. So the other this weekend. So Friday the Rams play at home against Alberta. University football was off the charts. Upset. The Rams game was crazy. Huskies were in a heater against Alberta, but won. Then the Thunder. Good job, Curtis. Look at Curtis on the ball today with all these video. The Thunder and the Hilltops play 7 p.m. Saturday. Third-ranked team in the country are the Thunder. Greg from Piffle's podcast is supposed to be coming on tomorrow with me. He's a big Thunder guy, so we'll get into that. That's a great football game. So there's good football in town, and then you can watch the rematch of the Labor Day Classic in Winnipeg on Saturday as well. NFL starts this Sunday.
No, Thursday, Dallas, Philly.
I know.
Then Friday, the Chiefs are in Brazil, Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Curtis has been there.
Is that where he got his perm from?
Backpack.
Oh, it's not a perm. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to say that. It's not a. Did you like when I sent you last week the picture?
You're getting rid up. You're getting rid up.
I'm putting in a formal complaint right now, Maz. This is workplace harassment.
No.
Where'd you get your perm, Maz? Where'd you get your perm, Maz?
H&R. No, it's who sponsors Double Talk on Mondays?
Where'd you get your shaving cream, Maz, to get such a nice shiny dome?
Campbell Safety Consulting can get me a plan. We're so getting out of this. You have no proof. It wasn't me. That was AI. It was AI generated. I never even said that.
Okay, we got.
And Maz isn't even my real name. You don't even know my legal real name.
I mentioned this. This was awesome after the game. We'll wrap things up with this. You can keep pick the scores coming for the next 4 minutes. Curtis is good. But I'm back tomorrow. I said Greg from Piffles will hopefully be here. But this is Tegan and Mario Anderson post-game. You just really got to take a liking to the guy and how how appreciative he is of everything and just how much fun he seems to be having. Here it is.
Tegan?
I'm here with Mario Anderson Jr. Now, not only did you score your first touchdown tonight, but you got 2 of them. Walk us through that first one there. How did that feel?
Just being able to have Coach Mueller and the offensive guys trusting me to be able to go out there and make a play. Outside zone, follow Brammer to the end zone. He had a lead block, and, the rest was the rest after that.
And talk a little bit more about that offensive line. Maybe they don't get the love they deserve because they're doing their job, right? I saw you go right to Furlan to have that Sally. What can you say about those guys?
Man, I hang with those guys all the time. I hang with those guys all the time, man. I feel as though our team chemistry, the chemistry that we have as a unit together, man, it's unbreakable. The bond, love those guys to death, man. I'll do anything for those guys, man. I just appreciate them going hard every single day.
This is one incredible atmosphere here for the 60th annual Labor Day Classic. What do you want to say to the fans?
Thank y'all for coming out and showing out. We appreciate y'all for this province and for this team, and thank y'all so very much.
Mario Anderson Jr., first 2 CFL touchdowns tonight. Enjoy the win, buddy.
Yes, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Duncan, Tegan Whitco's at 11. The pregame show's at 1. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 2. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by your Saskatchewan Ag Code dealers, Quality Tire, and SaskTel. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
When you're on the road, don't forget, Arcola Co-op is your home away from home. And they're now your liquor store away from home, too. Attached to the gas bar and convenience store is their 500 square foot walk-in beer cooler, with a wide variety of wine and spirits, too. Heading to the lake or out camping, make Arcola Co-op your one-stop shop. Grab your beer, ice, fuel, snacks, and even hot chicken all in one place. Arcola Co-op, you're at home here.
Do you have a commercial generator? Is it CSA 282 compliant? Does it need to be? At Shorty Generators, they specialize in CSA 282 testing, ensuring your equipment is up to code and ready when you need it most. Their expert technicians are certified and ready to help with fast, reliable service you can trust. CSA 282 testing. Compliance made easy. Any generator, any size, anytime. Shorty can handle it. ShortyGenerators.ca.
Experience a harvest so fundamentally different with performance and efficiency other combines just can't match. Experience a Gleaner S98 from Nick Service. There's no inefficient gearboxes or hydraulics robbing your combine of power, keeping your Gleaner a lean, mean harvesting machine. They save more and cost you less. To learn more about putting a Gleaner S98 on your farm, visit Nick Service, your AGCO dealer in Emerald Park. nickservice.com.
It's that time again. Join us for our 22nd annual Ride for Breast Cancer Screening on Sunday, September 14th. Registration is at Prairie Harley-Davidson from 9:30 to 11, along with a pancake breakfast. Ride the Katepo Loop and come back for a food truck wind-up.